rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fam's on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who be caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's the number one Chief Rocket in Knicks universe. Your main man's Knicks swagger, Uncle Freezy. Feeling so good, I don't even know what to do with myself. You know what I'm saying? Feeling so good, I don't even know what to do with myself right now, man. It's a good time to be a Knicks fan, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to y'all watching. Kenny Payne in the building. Corey Lee is in the building. Shout out to the members of the channel. You know what I'm saying? Get that energy up. You know what I'm saying? It's good to be here, man. It's good to rock with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want this party started, right? Oh, you bought that for me? It's frozen. Okay. All right. Okay. You must like me or something. Sometimes. Okay. All right. All right. What's good, party people? David L is in the building. Kerry Cox. What's good? The son of the legend is in the building. Kenny Payne, the basketball intellect, is in the building. Man, what's good, man? What's good, y'all? Yo, what's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good? What's good? What's good? Adam is in the building. What's good? Okay. All right. So, man, listen, I feel good about where we are. Man, I ain't send a link out on that. Man, that was crazy. You know what? I'm going to put the link in the chat in a few seconds. Right? I just had... It's crazy. It's crazy around here, man. It's crazy around here sometimes. Right? But listen. Ready or not, here we come. You can't hide. I'm going to find you. Now, I know a lot of people may not know where I'm going with this, but ready or not, here we come. You can't hide. Bruh, all I'm saying is I'm super excited about tomorrow's game. All right. I'm super excited about tomorrow's game. Right. And I'm super excited for tomorrow's game for a multitude of reasons and outcomes. Right. Every time I think about this game tomorrow, and it gives me playoff vibes, right? Tomorrow's game in Miami gives me, Uncle Freezy, Knicks swagger, playoff vibes. That's right. You heard me. Get that Knicks energy up. Where's Adam at? Where's Adam? Adam, I don't know what Adam's probably somewhere. Adam probably hit the lottery or something. But Adam is our guy to set the record straight. Adam always is like, hey, Uncle Freezy, I don't know, but we need to get that energy up. And Adam, I'm with you. Adam is probably somewhere counting money, right? Like, yo, get that energy up, right? And I know I'm not the only one in this place where I'm not used to this, right? I'm not used to this. The last time, yo, Worldwide L is in the building. Worldwide L is in the building. Worldwide L is in the building. Worldwide L, you sent your guy after me talking that Queens basketball, bro. I think I'm gonna have to give it to both of you. Yo, City for Real is in the building. Let's go. Let's go. City for Real is in the building. Got my energy all the way up. I'm crunk now because City for Real is here. Worldwide L, man, I'm gonna have to take on you and Hardwell, man, on the basketball court, bro. Worldwide L, I'm gonna have to take on you and Hardwell on the basketball court. I know you are a little bit younger than Hardwell, but I take on all comers, bro. Yeah, I'm taking on all comers. Hey, Kitty Payne, I might need some help. You know what I'm saying? I might need that assistance. Share the ball handling duties. All right, so let me get down to let me do some channel stuff, and then I'm gonna get to the point, explain why I'm super excited. Right. Yo, Daniel Barry is in the building. What's good? Hey, what's good, DB? All right, so let me get to some channel stuff. First of all, if you're new to this experience, subscribe to the channel. It's worth it. Right? Hit the like button. Hit the like button, not just because of you like what you hear from me, but hit the like button so that, you know what I'm saying, to show love for those that come on and rock with me. Hit the like button for Adam and for Corey Lee, right? Hit the like button because you like IKBM Dre. Hit the like button because you like how we interact with the chat. Hit the like button because you like to have that Knicks talk to y'all in a good way, right? Hit the like button because it's free, right? And if you want to help support the channel grow, if you want to help us pay bills, like all these subscriptions that we have, whether it's, oh my God, it's endless. If you want to help us pay bills around here, consider joining the channel to help us pay for like all these third-party stat websites that email you half to death with bizarre stats, but you need them because you got to look up stats to prove that your New York Knicks are not a fluke, right? And for thumbnails and for Photoshop for thumbnails and all this, pay for you. I gotta pay for music, or we gotta pay for music on YouTube now. Now they got licenses. Now you gotta pay for certain licenses and all this stuff. It's crazy around here. But anyway, if you want to help us with that, man, we greatly appreciate it. If you don't, we greatly appreciate it. Right? Also, go to the merch shop and look around. Tell me what you like and what you dislike. You see it, lawrencetiers.myspreadshop.com. It's a place where we got, you know what I'm saying, some merch out there. We want you to go take a look at and all of that. Yep. So, down to the nitty gritty. I'm so excited and I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control and I think I like it. Right? Here's the thing. Starting at point 1, the Knicks have a perennial all-star. You hear me? The Knicks have a perennial all-star. Uh-oh, Kerry Cox said post the link. All right. I was going to get in the bag. Hey, Cheek George is in the building. Okay. All right. All right. Kerry Cox says post the link. Oh, boy. Here we come. The son of the legend. And in case y'all can't see it, also, aside from my name, the Avi that you see one on top of the other. There's the new logo, and underneath it is our traditional old school logo. Right? Our traditional old school joint. Okay. All right. All right. Nick G is in the building. Nick G 2K1 says the new logo is fire. Thank you, bro. I had been working on it for a minute. Like, I wanted to do it kind of in a way, but not kind of like I didn't want to do like the classic AAU basketball logo you put like on your team. I wanted something that'll look nice on everything. Something that'll look nice on everything. Right? But here's the thing. Here's the reason why I feel really good about where we are, right? I feel good about where we are, for one, because we have a perennial all-star in Julius Randle. Is Julius Randle the typical all-star that I like to see the Knicks get? No. But is he ours? Yes. Do I appreciate him? Yes. Dripmore is in the building. The Barber. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. All right. Point number 2 is the Knicks have a point guard, right? The Knicks have a point guard. And I'm thinking that he's going to be a perennial all-star as well. Probably all NBA something. Don't know exactly which one it's going to be, but I know it's going to be. I'm confident that it's going to be something. I'm confident that it's going to be something. Right? All right. Point number 3 is the emergence of a young player. Right? I thought the emerging young player was going to be RJ. It may wind up being quickly, but so what? I don't care. We just need a young player to emerge from the pack. We need a young player that's going to emerge from the pack. All right. Point 4, Tom Thibodeau is making adjustments. Tom Thibodeau is making adjustments offensively and defensively. And here's the thing, right? A lot of people say Tibbs doesn't run a certain type of offense. Tibbs is blah blah blah, and defensively Tibbs is stubborn, and rotation wise Tibbs don't do, and what I'll say to you is prove it. Right? Prove it. When we watch the game and rewatch the game, Tibbs is making all types of nouveau adjustments. And for those of us that don't see it, or if it's not told to us, we don't recognize it. And that's okay, because everybody's not going to be a basketball savant, right? I'm not a basketball savant. But what I'll do is in preparing for shows like this, what I'll do is I'll go back and rewatch games. And then if I can't figure it out, I'll YouTube it. I'll go to like 3 or 4 YouTube sites and break down what it is that I'm seeing. Like, is this right? Why is he doing this type of cut? What is that cut called? Oh, it's called a hammer cut? Okay. What type of cut is that? Oh, it's called a banana cut? Okay, I didn't know that. It just looked like he just randomly just moved. Right? But when you combine all of these type of actions and you go back and watch it, you're like, this is way different than what I saw last year when Alec Burks and Evan Fournier was running offense. These dudes are doing hammer cuts and banana cuts and ghost screens and all this type of stuff in this offense. It looks way different than it did last year. And as Knicks fans, if you don't understand all that stuff, that's okay. Ain't nobody judging nobody. But what we're saying is that if you don't recognize it, don't say it doesn't happen. If you don't recognize what you're looking at, don't be like, yo, it ain't happening. Yeah, it is happening, man. Things are different. Things are different. Notice in the scoring, not the amount of points, but how easily those shots come nowadays, right? Like for instance, you don't have to be Coach Carter to understand that instead of RJ Barrett shooting a contested shot at the rim over 3 people, that he's getting a wide open shot off the wing for 3. There's a difference in that. Right? And I understand people will say, well, RJ ain't no shooter. Right. You just, yeah. All right. And here's the thing. Here's the 5th and most important thing why I'm so excited. This team is playing together. All the ghost screens and hammer cuts and banana cuts and pick and pop options and backside screens and pin downs and dribble handoffs, all of these things basically amount to this team is playing well together, and the NBA should be on notice. The NBA should be on notice. Ready or not, here we come. Ready or not, here we come. Kenny Payne says, Jalen Brunson got Tom Thibodeau to dap him up, all-star and my franchise PG. Bim. Yeah, right there before that, Jalen Brunson had went by. I was like, good job, coach. We got you. Brunson said, good job, coach. We got you. And Tibbs was like, yeah. And Chick George says, Tibbs has been doing a great job. However, I wish he would feature Grimes more, especially since he showed some potential when JB and RJ were out. Yep. In last night's game down the stretch, I don't know if you noticed that, George. I don't know if you noticed it down the stretch of the Brooklyn game. That's exactly what he was trying to do. He had the green light down the stretch of the Brooklyn game, right? Catch it, put the ball on the floor, tried to make some plays, threw an errant pass, so what? Came down, jacked up 2 threes, ran the screen and roll, and shot the 3 off the screen. That's one of the things that you don't see from a Tom Thibodeau offense, right? Run the screen and roll to get the 3 out of the screen. Make them go under and make them pay when they go under by shooting the 3 with the screen. It's one of them things. So ready or not, NBA, here we come. Ready or not, Knicks fans, here we come. Right? Ready or not, here we come. The Knicks are on their way. The Knicks are on their way. Let me see here real quick. I was supposed to send this. Be patient with me, y'all, but just real quick. I did one of those ancestry kits. I know some people don't like that type of stuff, but I did that, man. And some people are like, yo, don't send your DNA because if you ever commit a crime, I'm not really a crime guy. I'm not really a crime guy. I'm more like the homie. Oh, okay. All right. Let me see here while I do that. I'm gonna bring in the big homie just real quick, and then I'm gonna get to the other stuff for me.
Yeah, get that energy way up to the sky, Uncle Freezy.
Yo.
What's going on, boss?
Ain't nothing.
What's
Ain't
going
nothing.
on?
I'm excited, man. I'm excited about. Yo, look who here. Look who here.
Who else?
Boom!
What's good? Nice.
It's your friendly neighborhood superhero, Nice.
What's good? What's good? Nice.
What's good? What's good, guys? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We
Yeah,
super
man.
good, bro. Super good.
You got that energy up nice.
Man, it's surely beautiful out here, bro. I still hear Madison Square Garden from all the way over here in Colorado.
Bim.
Hey, man.
Oh, hey. Yo, look who is also here. Bim. What's good, Playboy? Oh, there he is. What's good, Playboy?
Yeah, you muted.
Yo, you muting yourself? What's going on?
Yeah, he's muted.
Yeah, hey man, he an amateur at this. He don't know nothing about social media. He don't know nothing about social media. Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, yo, I ain't gonna lie, yo. I'm super excited about where we are as a franchise, as an organization, right? In this moment, right now, where we are, the Thursday before a major rivalry game. There. Oh boy. What's going on, State? Everything all right?
He's still muted.
Wave at me when you're ready. All right. Yeah, man. The Thursday before a major rivalry game, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are at like one of the best feelings that we've had in maybe 2 or 3 years. And all I'm saying is, if you thought we popped the top when we beat Brooklyn, you just wait till we pop. You just wait till we beat Miami. And then don't let us beat Boston in the Garden, in Boston Garden. Bruh. Yep.
Hey, I told you the Knicks have no excuse to lose to Brooklyn. Now we have no excuse to lose to Miami. Make it 11 in a row. 11 games over 500.
Bro, I wouldn't even know how to act. The Knicks 11 games over 500, bro. I wouldn't even know how to act. Yeah, I'd be cutting up. You know what I'm saying? The only reason, and I ain't gonna lie to you, nice. Listen, the only reason why I'm not on my way to Miami right now is because, whatever. Things happen, right? Right? But bro, yo, Ivory 10 is in the building. What's happening? Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So how y'all feeling? Where y'all energy at?
Man, my energy is rooting for Knicks and rooting for Denver. Those are the two I want to see.
Right.
You know why, right?
Yeah, I know why.
All right.
I know. It's about it's a location.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be no excuse to watch my Knicks in the playoff. Oh man, that would be nice.
That would be nice, bro. No pun intended.
And that's it.
Hey, Freezy, how you like my avatar?
Bim. Fantastic.
That's the man right now in the Knicks uniform.
Bim.
That man, he is doing everything. Point guard, scoring, defense. He's the man right now.
Yep.
Man,
Yep.
I think he might be the best thing that ever happened to us. Even better than Jeremy Lin. Even better than Melo.
Yeah.
And the only reason I'm saying is because if you look at the team chemistry, everybody want to play. Everybody is trying to do their little thing.
Yeah, man.
Stay, your mic is still muted, player.
Yeah, there he is.
Now it's working.
What's up, boss? Yo, why they keep coming after you on Twitter, B?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even. It's been so long since I've spoken on a live stream. And
Right.
The last time we spoke about how the team was mid and we was in a losing streak.
Right.
It's been a month since then.
Right.
In that month, Thibodeau went 9-1. In that month, I watched Jalen Moutier turn into Jalen Iverson. Julius Randle. This shit is special, dog. I can't even.
Right?
Salute everyone. What's going on?
G Money, what's good?
Sugar and
What's
bacon.
up, bro? I can't even fathom what I'm watching from this young man. Yo, he takes all the right shots. He makes all the right passes. He's literally making guys better around him.
Playing harder defense.
Points in the game. He plays hard on defense. And then you look for certain things. So last game, Brunson was cooking. In the second quarter, Randall had 6 points. But you know what he was doing?
Assistant.
He was rebounding. He was passing the pill. He got Grimes 2 open threes. He's the reason why Grimes hit 5 threes yesterday. I'm kind of mad at Randall because he was the only person that made my FanDuel ticket not hit. Because remember, he had 21. His over was 25.
Right.
But what I'm watching right now is special. And I think what hurts is what Josh Hart is doing is exactly what you wanted from a guy like Cam Reddish. Right?
Awesome. Rebound, passing, blocks, can shoot the three.
It's sad that it take a CAA guy, and Leon Rose and these guys to get us Josh Hart at this particular moment in time, and he's filling everything that we need. But most importantly, he got everybody back in their proper roles. So now everybody's comfortable when they get on court, right? This man is shooting 65% from three since he became a Knick, and the Knicks are 7-0 with Josh Hart. I don't know what I'm watching from this team, but this team is dominant. And I said earlier that I said this during the All-Star break. I said the Knicks gonna go 18-4. And I said it on wax.
No, down the stretch?
Yeah. I said 18-4. That was my take.
You know that'll get us to 50 wins.
I know that.
Okay.
That was my take before the All-Star break. The reason why that was my take specifically was because of RJ Barrett. Now, weirdo will look at this and say, why would you say RJ Barrett and you know he's playing like Ruben Patterson? Me, I'm going to think hypothetical. If he's playing bad and we're defending and we still look this dominant, imagine when he plays well and everything else around him is clicking like it has been.
Right.
You don't even know what you're watching right now.
Bro,
Then you got a 22-year-old who's averaging 19 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. How about you people enjoy Julius Randle's 25 and 11 and 5 like I am? How about you enjoy Jalen Brunson, allowing RJ Barrett to develop slowly? Now, one of the craziest things Freezy said about 2 years ago, he still says it. Daddy made you quickly take he had. And I was hard on Emmanuel quickly when it started the season because this man was ball hogging. I don't know what it was with him. Yo, that kid, he's the real deal.
He's special.
You need to pay him his $100 million.
Yeah.
Just like how I came on here. Remember, I was battling people, but where my Henny at? I was battling people for Mitchell Robinson contract.
Right.
Mitch come back 4 straight double-doubles.
Right.
Pay quickly his $100 million. We gotta he gotta be situated. Make sure that young man got a mansion somewhere upstate. Make sure he good. Right?
Right.
The RJ thing is the reason why I said 18-4. Because Brunson, he good with me.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm good with Brunson. Brunson finally learned how to play point guard. It took him 50 games. Because remember at the start of the season, at certain times, he used to call his own number a lot. You notice lately, Mitchell Robinson is getting the ball.
Yep.
You notice lately, Mitchell Robinson, 4 straight double-doubles. That's attributed to Jalen Brunson. So people, like what you're watching right now is a dominant basketball team. The only last thing I'm asking for the Knicks to do is get me home court advantage. You don't need OG Anunoby, Kerry Cox. You got a 22-year-old averaging 19, 5, and 3, and you got Quentin Ntilikina right next to him who banged 5 threes yesterday. What are you talking about? What some of these fans is watching? 7-0 win streak, and you still talking trades. People don't deserve. Yo, I can't. I'm not trying to curse because I want you to get my
no,
people are ungrateful.
Some Knicks fans is really ungrateful. Y'all have to shut up with that stupidity.
Agreed.
And enjoy RJ and Randle and Brunson. I'm a Randle hater. I hated Randle.
Yeah.
That's my boy. That's my boy right now. He hooping. Come on now. Knicks going to the finals, man. Y'all better look, man. It's $48, right? For the Knicks to win the championship, it's $48. You win $6K. I caught it earlier, right? I caught it in early February. So I had $48. I'm gonna win $10,000 if the Knicks win the championship. All we got to do is play Cleveland or the Nets in the first round. Let the Bucks and Philly beat up on each other in the first round.
Right.
And let Julius Randle and Brunson do the rest. This is special, y'all. This is special. I don't know what else to say, man. Y'all better buckle up, man. Because we about to go on. It's gonna be a nice win streak. This team is dominant.
Hey, you know what? I want to say this to you, State, that just I'm gonna say some basketball stuff. Right, I ain't gonna say no nebulous. I'm not gonna say some nebulous stuff that it can go either way. Right, what I'm gonna say is basketball stuff. Right, this is on the court. The fact that Tom Thibodeau made a defensive adjustment December 3rd, and you are now getting what you're getting from December 4th on.
Yep,
speaks to the fact that Tibbs, who can be unpopular at times, to say the least, right, will make adjustments, right? Will make adjustments, right? Here's the other thing, too. there were some things that we were trying to force that didn't fit. Right? We were trying to force the Obi need more minutes thing and take some of Randall's minutes thing. We were trying to force that. Right? We went away from that. We given Obi 6 minutes in the first half, 6 in the second half, and watch how Randall can cook. Right? The other thing we were trying to force Cam Reddish need more minutes. Remember that? Yo, you got to play Cam. You got to play Cam. Fans were trying to force that. Right? Without
but why though? But why though? You need context behind that. We tried to force that because nobody was invested in watching Evan Fournier steal minutes, bro, from him or Quentin Grimes.
Yeah,
right. But listen, you gotta. But listen. Let me put this thing out here. I'm saying it so it won't be nebulous like that. See, that was a good question that you asked me. But the thing about that is the answer to that is neither. Neither Reddish nor Fournier was helping his team win, right? Right? You see that since Fournier had disappeared from the lineup, you see how much better this team. Now, when you take out Fournier and insert a young player, guess what you get? Another false narrative. Tibbs don't want to play the kids, right? Tibbs don't want to play the kids, but you see the development of Quickly. You saw the development of Jericho Sims. You saw the development of Grimes a little bit.
The caveats in there though. So for Quickly, he developed faster this season because remember RJ got hurt. Remember Quickly Quickly was hauling ass. Then RJ got hurt. Then Quickly got into a groove. Grimes on the other hand, he hurt his foot. Now the Grimes thing, I feel like he earned his minutes now. I didn't feel like he earned his minutes before at that point in time. But I gotta understand me taking my feelings and focus out of it. I would like to see my investment on the floor, and I would like to see my return for my investment. Cam Reddish is not Tom Thibodeau's investment, so I can understand why he wanted to invest in Grimes. And Grimes just went 5 for 6 from 3. I like Grimes. You need championship role players, right? So you know, I just think a lot of caveats was in that. And then you said we wasn't winning with Reddish, so the Reddish thing with me was. That was around the same time Isaiah Hartenstein was playing like straight up garbage.
He was injured.
I never got at Isaiah Hartenstein because remember after the 5 games he played like garbage. Remember he went on live TV and said, "Yo, look, listen, Knicks fans, I'm sorry, I don't." So once he said that, I ain't say nothing about it.
You can get it. Yeah, you can dig it.
It's caveats with each player this season, but I think man that was fun. It's been a fun season so far, man.
But here's my ultimate thing. I'm not waving my hand at nobody, man. I'm just saying, let me get this thing out, right? Here's the other thing. A narrative that Knicks fans were saying that we find out after we take a deep breath. All young players in every situation is not going to thrive, right? When you look at Scotty Barnes has taken a severe step back, right? You look at Golden State is already trading off some of their young pieces. I expect the other young pieces to go this summer, right? The thing what Tibbs did with our young players, especially Quickly, is bring them enough slow, give them a little bit at a time and feed them a little bit at a time, as opposed to bringing everybody in all at once and then having them learn on the job where it may occasionally put winning at risk. I got SB. Yo, SB is in the building.
Hey,
Yo,
Mets
is here. What's good, Mets?
What's going on,
guys?
I seen y'all was cooking up and everything. I just want to say, look, as a realist, as much as I talk smack to y'all and I mess with y'all know I'm a Bulls fan. I cannot lie. I clowned on y'all about the Jalen Brunson signing.
Yeah.
Clowned on y'all about keeping RJ and Randall and all that. Y'all look nice. I have to admit.
Right now.
Nice. Y'all look nice. As a Bulls fan, it hurt me to say this, but y'all look nice, bro. Y'all look nice.
Right. No,
Jalen is SB. His name is Jalen Iverson. You show that man the proper
show that man some respect.
You're wilding.
No, I'm not wild. You don't see Jalen Iverson.
He's not AI. Let's see. Look, I give you the sauce, and you get the running 2 miles per hour, like putting it everywhere. Just take the compliment and just be cool. You calling him Iverson?
Nah, I can't be cool. I can't be cool.
He Brunson.
I can't be.
I'm not calling him
for
Iverson.
so long.
I'm not calling him
I
Iverson.
said the
can't
Brunson
be
burner is on right now. The
Right.
Brunson burner is on right now.
Yeah, I
But
love
y'all don't need RJ no more. I can definitely tell y'all that though.
No. We need RJ.
No, y'all don't.
We need
Jalen-
RJ.
Josh.
Hey, yo,
Hart-
hey, real quick. Let me bring my guy in real quick, y'all. Hold on for a split second.
Yo, Dre, what's good?
What's going on?
Salute to everybody on the panel. What up?
Salute,
I'm here, RJ Slander, and I'm an RJ Avenger, so I'm not having it.
He said
RJ, my man. We keep RJ. RJ ain't going nowhere. RJ's the future of Knicks basketball. I got an RJ jersey on right now.
Miami.
The
I
disrespect.
got the number 9. I got the number 9 cut into my head, my haircut right now.
Ben,
RJ going nowhere. That's my man.
Ben.
In regard to what we've got to deal
You
with,
better
tomorrow
put an
night,
11 on your head. What's wrong with you? This Brunson team.
Hey, SB, I need to hit you. Hey, SB, I'm gonna hit you up on Instagram. I got a huge favor.
Okay, hit me up. You know I got you all the time.
Yeah, okay.
I got
Yeah,
you.
hey, go ahead, Mets.
in regards to what we're going to have to put up with for tomorrow night in Miami. On paper, this would seem like an easy game since, let's face it, Heat may be the South Division East Division leaders, but they're top seed in the play-in. But on the other hand, they recently bought out the Kevin Love contract, and we know Love has been somewhat of a thorn in our side over the years. True or false?
True.
Question is, with Kevin Love at the tail end of his prime, or just about or getting to the point,
He definitely passed it.
Yeah.
Question is this going to have much of an effect on the game on Friday? To be
No.
honest, I don't know.
No.
Ben Simmons, and I'll leave it at that.
I think we'll win the game on Friday, but Mets does have a point. You never know how that game could turn out, though. You never know. It could be Tyler Hero can get hot. The thing is that also Jimmy Butler is questionable tomorrow. He has an injury, so consider that Jimmy Butler is questionable tomorrow. So we don't know if he's going to play or not.
I think most people are looking past this game and focusing on the game against Boston on Sunday. I'm looking at the Miami matchup tomorrow as a trap game.
That is true. You never know. It could be Tyler Hero. It could be Bam Adebayo. Heck, it could be Max Strus. Give me Max Strus. You just that.
I don't. No, you good.
I mean, we'll win the game.
I'll get back to
We'll win the game, but I always tell people there's no such thing as no.
Just give me what you need. I got you. If I'm capable of it, I got you.
Okay. Right. Salute SB, by the way. Salute Matt. Salute
G Money.
Yep. Nice.
Salute
Look,
G-Money.
I always tell people there's no such thing as no chance to win in a given night. You have a chance every night. That's why you play the games. But I think we'll win the game. But it's gonna be a tough game because, like I said, Miami. I know they got smoked by Philly without Embiid. I got it. I'm not denying that. But consider the fact that this is the same team that did beat Philly earlier in Philly, and this is the same team that also won in Boston early in the year, though. So we gotta consider that though, and beat Milwaukee twice though. So it's not gonna be like an easy peasy game because, like what Mess said, Kevin Love can get hot. It could be Tyler Hero. Hell, Hero almost beat us last time in the guard. He was a free away, arguably.
My bad, you money. I'm gonna keep it plainly. Our strengths kind of play into what Miami doesn't do well. Miami does not rebound very well. They are a poor 3-point shooting team, especially up the catch and shoot. So, and the things that we do as a constant are things that that are basic, legitimate. They are constants that we do on an every night basis, and it's getting to the point that we're so good at number one, not getting turnovers. We're so good at number
Agreed.
two, getting rebounds.
Agreed. Especially
It,
offensive.
it gives us a chance no matter if Brunson is off, no matter if RJ is off, no matter if Randall is off. It always gives us a chance to be in games. Because if you've seen over the like we've won in the last 4 games, Brunson has been off for what his normal production was for the
Except
last
for what
30 or so
happened last
games. And three out of the last 4 games. And we won by double digits in every game.
In any
That's
case,
RJ hasn't been performing. That's another thing. RJ is RJ. And
I'm
Randall's
just saying
been a
that,
constant, but the things that we
just
do
saying
so well play into what Miami doesn't do well at all.
I'm just saying, Dre, that the Miami game tomorrow is the start of stretch where 6 of our next 7 are
Right.
on the road.
Mhm. But think about it this way: if you look at the Knicks and especially the way that they play, they're not their number one priority as of right now. It's not even offense; it's defense. Is defense. The way that they playing, it's like shots is going to go in regardless. It's just a matter of time. But they trying to stop you on possession after possession after possession. And once you give them that rope and you release that leash, it's over. Somebody's going to be hot, and once they already understand who's hot between Brunson or Randall, or a third guy, who
Any
knew
third guy.
Grimes. But look at Grimes that night. Grimes yesterday, he was on fire. And the way that they playing, I don't know if you guys caught it, but Coach Thibodeau did the same thing over and over. And whoever got an NBA league pass, look at it. After he did something with his facial expression, showing the whole team, it was a shot from Grimes. I told even my wife, look, that number is going to shoot. Oh, how you know? And right there, they passed it to Grimes, and he shot it, man.
And Grimes' output last game, I almost want to solely attribute that to Randall finding him.
Right.
I
Right.
saw a
Again,
couple
Randall
clips
wasn't
where
shooting
Randall
well
was
last night either.
Randall's passing was absurdly good in the first half, and
Yeah.
particularly he was passing guys open, which is
Yeah.
I did something I didn't see happening in his development, especially when he first got here. Tornado Randall. I never saw him being able to consistently be a good playmaker, and we're starting to see that unfurl. And I want to say like it
This
might not necessarily be Grimes playing well. But go
question
ahead.
You got to get Grimes
Hold
involved.
on, wait.
early.
Let me ask bro a question about. I can't see his name, so I don't know your name, bro. Bro, right here at the bottom, because you said you're an RJ specialist.
Dre.
Look at the
Yeah,
Knicks team, right? You see Brunson going off. You see Josh Hart coming in, fitting in perfectly. Randall actually fitting in better than he did before.
Right.
I don't see RJ Barrett fitting in. Why won't you take advantage of actually trading him while his value is high to get more pieces to fit in what you guys doing? So why would you want RJ?
Number one,
he don't fit?
I'm gonna answer that. Number one, this front office never trades anything at its lowest value. Because if that was the case, Randall would have been gone 2 times over. Number two,
agree for that. I agree with the point.
Number two,
agreed.
Number two,
disagree.
The thing that kind of it's almost mystifying and confusing about RJ Barrett is Brunson and Randall raises the floor of this team to be a second round team. Whatever you get out of RJ in terms of consistency dramatically raises the ceiling of the team. If you were to watch the Knicks as of a few games ago, when RJ was pretty much efficient and playmaking, the offense was completely different in terms of the dynamic because we had 3 guys on the court that could make a play. Now, if you were to, like hypothetically speaking, if Grimes were to get going, we know what Grimes is going to do. He's going to attack off of closeouts, and he's just going to take the 3. But RJ is a little bit more methodical. He gets Mitch involved off curls and picks. He gets to the rim at will. It's just his decision making that it's not clicking for him at this moment. Like he's pressing. I don't know. But at this current moment, like if you were to trade RJ right now, you'd be getting you'd be basically selling RJ for 60 cents on the dollar. If another team were to get,
and before his value get lower than 60 cents.
I'm gonna keep it real with you. I don't see RJ's value going any lower than what it is. He'd have to play out like amazing, like historically bad for it to get lower than what it is right now.
I think he playing bad. I think he only reason why his value was high is because he got a Knicks jersey on. If he had a Toronto Raptors jersey on, they would have been dogging him. He'd have been value low. I think his value only has a Knicks player.
You serious with that? Nah, man. Since when has Knicks commodities been overvalued across the league? If anything, hold on, you 100%.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why, because you got a guy named Andrew Wiggins, right? Who dogged in Minnesota, but he still played good, and he played better than what RJ playing now. But they said he was a bust. RJ Barrett was a top 5 pick, and he's not showing up to the projection of a top 5 pick. If he was anywhere else, they'd have been dogging him. But this is
the thing, though. This is the thing. When you want to compare Wiggins to RJ, Wiggins was the number 1 overall pick, and Wiggins was making way more money in a lower cap.
RJ was 3.
Let me finish my point.
That's not far off.
RJ was
he was not Zion. He was. Hold on, let me finish. The reason why Wiggins' value tanked is because, number 1, he was eating way more to cap than whatever RJ is making right now, or will make in the future. He was making 30 plus million a year on a lower cap 3-4 years ago, and they traded him for D'Lo, and they were just trying to get off of his contract.
No,
if we go forward,
I think his value dropped because he had these high expectations. They were saying he was like the Canadian LeBron.
If you
that's why his value dropped. He was still
don't draft a guy with the top 3 pick unless he's going to be the star player of your team.
Exactly.
Wiggins played great, but he didn't play the role of a star guy as the number 1 pick. But he went Warriors and took off because Wiggins was never a bad player. But I'm saying RJ has not shown the point of being a 3rd overall pick. Trade him while his value is high and he don't fit in. That's
but you're not gonna get what you. But okay. What do you think RJ is gonna get on the market right now, right this second?
You can. I'm trying to think.
You're not gonna get nothing that's gonna help the Knicks.
I would say with RJ's contract,
you get an OG. You can get an OG Anunoby right now.
Or could get another star on the team.
You get an OG Anunoby right now for RJ. OG will fit with y'all roster better.
We still have our picks.
Get Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards is going nowhere. He is getting his supermax. He's going nowhere.
That's a fact.
I heard there's a lot of drama over there. I'm just saying, but let me say this real quick.
They can talk drama all you want, but dudes ain't gonna say nothing until that supermax come out.
All right, but let me say this real quick. You cannot make the comparison of Julius Randle and RJ, because Julius Randle, remember, at that time that he peaked, that he was MIP, like literally, that was the time that he signed the contract. And once he signed that contract, he literally took less just in order to stay with the Knicks. You see Jalen Brunson, he could have gotten more. Who knows in Dallas? He didn't want to hear it. He wanted to play. Let me finish. He came to the Knicks because he wanted to play for the Knicks. He didn't want to put no type of debate or a bid on who's going to pay me higher. No. I want to play for the Knicks. Just give me 110 or 105. It doesn't matter. Just give me that number. That's about it. Now, RJ, where I have a problem is that he came with the mentality like I want the max.
If he did, then he wouldn't have gotten a contract or signed a contract.
My point is that if you are a player that you know that everybody is taking a cut, you can't and everything that they actually doing just because you want to get paid. Even in that season, he stopped playing for Canada because he was more willing to be focused on his contract. So that literally tells
other players do that all the time. Stephen Curry has never played for Team USA. You think he doesn't care about winning?
Okay.
You can't say that.
I think these days with these players, it's becoming more and more of a political statement, but that's something we shouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole.
But
just real quick on the RJ thing. The RJ Wiggins thing, SB, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. It was unfair. And here's the reason why I say that. Not as a Knicks fan, just as a basketball fan in general. Right? For one, Andrew Wiggins was drafted to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Guess who he played with on a daily basis? Another number 1 overall pick.
Derrick Rose?
Right. Carl Anthony Towns.
Carl Anthony Towns. Don't do that.
And secondly, those two dudes that were the number 1 picks, the Timberwolves got rid of all the veterans that would be in the way so that those two dudes could have the keys to the kingdom from day one.
Facts.
Right?
And Wiggins
did RJ Barrett got neither of those. RJ Barrett got the opposite of that. They brought in multiple veterans to play with RJ. RJ didn't, because if you had said, for example, say the next year, the Knicks would have got, or the previous year, instead of drafting Knox, we'd have got DeAndre Ayton with the number 1 pick, and then paired him and RJ Barrett together. Mm-hmm. Then I could understand why you could compare them, because you got 2 top 3 picks, both young. You clear out all the veterans, and these 2 dudes learn how to play together. You build your franchise around 2 top 3 players. That wasn't the case. Before RJ, the lottery pick was Kevin Knox, who turned out to be nothing. And before Kevin Knox, the lottery pick wound up being Frank Ntilikina, which wound up being nothing. So there was never a situation where RJ totally got the keys and got to play with another young guy in a similar situation. And speaking of that, those Timberwolves right now, the Timberwolves are saying, right, people are like, yo, Anthony Edwards looked like he got the keys to Anthony Edwards is going to be better than RJ. Oh, of course. Because in a 10-year stretch, the Timberwolves had four number 1 overall picks on a roster if you include Derrick Rose's short tenure there with the Timberwolves, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But RJ on the other hand was the complete opposite. RJ Barrett was scrapping for minutes with dudes like Wayne Ellington. Y'all remember Wayne Ellington don't forget Wayne Ellington was a Knick.
He was.
Twice.
Right, Wayne Ellington. Alfred Payton was a Knick. Reggie Bullock was a Knick. John Jenkins, Billy Garrett,
Luke Cornett
were Knicks.
Lonzo Trier.
Damian Dawson. Yeah. So SB, I understand where you're going with the Wiggins comp. Yeah, with the Wiggins comp, man, but it's not totally fair, right? It's like if we could say the same thing for the Bulls. We could be like, yo, Patrick Williams ain't nothing. Why Patrick Williams ain't doing nothing for the Bulls?
I agree with you on that though. They doing nothing,
but it's not fair.
Top pick. See, that's the point. You missed my point because Patrick Williams is a top pick who's not showing up, and I feel the same thing. But now look, y'all problem is this: RJ is not showing up, and he don't fit with the future of the Knicks roster.
Right.
That's why he has to.
But the thing I was going to say about Patrick Williams is not that Patrick Williams is a bad player. They drafted Patrick Williams knowing that Patrick Williams was a project and he wasn't going to be ready. Ultimately, Patrick Williams is going to be a Kawhi Leonard type player. Ultimately, down the road,
he ain't showing it yet.
I know. I know.
He shows it like once every 6 weeks.
That's when he shows it.
Right, once every other day. Like, come on, man, we ain't doing that.
Yeah, I wanted to. Go ahead. With RJ.
I wanted to.
If RJ doesn't pan out, we could trade him out and get rid of his contract in a cap dump.
Y'all need to do it now. Why his value?
Some point down the line.
Hold on. If you look up RJ compared to his contemporaries, dudes paid out of his draft class, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How much, like, Tyler Hero signed a 4-year deal, 120. RJ's 4 years, 107, right?
Yeah, before the poison pill contract was kicking. Yeah.
Jordan Poole's deal is 4 years, 140, I believe.
104. I think it's 104 million.
RJ
40. 140.
That's just
140 my fault. Wiggins is 400 for my fault. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
All right.
so if you look up their shooting splits and all these things, you're basically banking on RJ improving and becoming better than the value of his contract. I'm not sure trading him immediately, like this offseason, probably is not the best idea, and I don't think this front office would ever trade him unless it's the perfect deal upgrade. And by no means am I saying never trade RJ. If it's for the right deal and there's an upgrade, I'm shipping him up out of here. With the money right, everything right, I'm shipping him up out of here. But the way
Right
this
now,
front office works, the
right
way this
now-
front office operates, they do not trade guys that are not at peaking value. If they do that, it's marginal fringe players where they can dump them off with second round picks.
And
That's it.
right, or they win a trade so badly that they can't pass up the opportunity.
Yep.
Or in
So-
the cases of
like the Cam Reddish trade.
So it all depends on, let's say, how we look in the playoff, because the way as of right now how everything is looking, imagine now Brunson, Randall, and somebody else that is actually adequate. People's going to start saying like, hey, the odd man out is RJ. As much as you want to say, because listen, if we literally make it out of the second round, and I see us in the play in the, not only in the playoff but in the finals, but if we make it out of the second round, I'm telling you right now, the Knicks is going to do everything possible, so that the next year is going to be just finals, either semifinals or finals. No more words, because we're not waiting for player development. At the end of the day, you got to be showing that you really want to get better on your craft. You cannot tell me whatever was quickly a pick is better than RJ.
Quickly is better than RJ.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Correct me
saying.
if I'm wrong about this, okay? Now, even though we trade away our primary first round pick to Portland to get rid of Reddish, we still have Dallas's first round pick. And at this rate, that puts us at what? Spot 18 in the draft?
Right.
Dallas's pick could be anywhere. Well, depending on how they finish, it could be anywhere between. Well, I'm guessing it could be anywhere between 15 or like 22.
Yeah.
Depending
Right now,
on how they close out the season. Right.
Right.
My question is, are we going to be stupid enough to cough that up and get fleeced again like we did in the last draft?
It's possible because y'all is the Knicks. It's possible.
Well. If you guys are so gung ho about trading RJ and getting a possible upgrade towards the future, RJ and that pick and possibly some other picks is getting up out of here for this supposed third starter you want. Nice. If we're just we're going.
I can't be out. My point is that I like in what SB Talksport was saying. I totally agree. At the end of the day, you gotta do everything possible so it could work. If so, you cannot keep on trying to force it. It's like you dating a girl as much as you like it. If the relationship doesn't work, it's not gonna work. You just forcing it because you, for some reason, you want to see it work. You like that bad girl. Damn, she got everything good, but she's still disrespecting you in some way or whatever is the case. It's not working out.
But nice.
If you're really paying attention, wait, let me say this. If you're really paying attention basketball wise, the Josh Hart trade was a perfect example. You know that RJ is not going to be here that long. Why would you trade for Josh Hart? That's RJ's minutes right there.
That's very possible.
RJ is gone, bro.
And Josh has a better fit with Randall and Brunson. Yeah.
Do you think if the Knicks has the possibility to trade either one of these two, which one is it going to be based on what you're seeing right now?
Well, one or two who?
Okay.
RJ.
It's either going to be IQ or it's going to be RJ, or is it going to be Hart, or is it going to be RJ?
Hey,
hold
on for a second, y'all. Let me do this real quick. So, Trav B. Ryan, thank you for the generous contribution. Trav says Miami hadn't played us with Brunson, Mitch, or Josh Hart this season. And you know what? Hey, Trav, you know what?
It's a fair point.
I'm with you, bro. I think Miami is in for a surprise come Friday night. But let me get to the thing with SB and everybody is talking about. The thing with RJ,
he ain't bring up RJ.
I didn't get to answer.
Right?
I wanted to.
Yeah, hold on, bro. Hold
you
on,
see, right?
One at a time. One at a time.
Relax. Oh, the thing I want to introduce is we're talking about how RJ may not be whatever it is, but this team with RJ Barrett is 10 games over 500, and the Knicks have won 7 in a row.
True.
This team could legit win 50 games with RJ Barrett on the roster.
It's true.
And to say that RJ may not be the fit is kind of doing the whole team construct a disservice, because it's not like RJ was out and they went on this tear and now RJ is coming back. RJ is helping contribute to this thing that we're seeing. Unlike in other places, like, for instance, the Andrew Wiggins thing, where Andrew Wiggins goes to a team with 2 of the greatest shooters to have ever lived, or 3 if you include the coach, to have ever lived, right? And now you see certain aspects of his game because he doesn't have to do as much, or not have to be as responsible for as much, because he has a clear and defined role: wing defender, sometimes scorer. And we know that's his role because we saw Kelly Oubre in that same role with the Golden State Warriors, right?
And he failed miserably.
And it failed. Right. Thank you, G Money, for that. The thing with RJ is before, and I know people are like, yo, why you always defending RJ? Why you always going on chopping block for RJ? But
the other problem with RJ is he's basically...
Mets, hold on, man.
Okay.
Yo, because if not, then I'm gonna have to do this right here, bro. I'm gonna have to do like this one thing at a time. And listen, I'm gonna have to do this one thing at a time thing, man. If we keep talking over each other, man, we gotta have some respect for everybody that you know what I'm saying is talking. I mean, I will moderate like this if y'all feel like it's necessary, right? But the point that I'm getting at is this: the thing with RJ is, at RJ's pace, he can still contribute to this team winning and develop at the same time. You don't have to get the finished product of RJ Barrett in a New York minute, right? Quite frank, that is what has destroyed the other baby. Every time we get somebody, we bring them in here, we expect them to be Michael Jordan from day one. Soon as they get their hat from the commissioner, we expect 13 championships. Or we can let the Knicks develop like they're developing Jalen Brunson, like they developed Julius Randle, like they developed Emmanuel Quickly, like they developed Mitchell Robinson, like they're developing RJ Barrett right now. Yeah, Mets.
I think the other problem the Knicks have with RJ is basically in some cases, in some games, I mean, he's hit or miss. I mean, yeah, there are games he'll do good offensively and defensively, but other times I still feel like because he's basically a 2-guard playing a wing spot, there are times he acts like he's still a fish out of water, so to speak.
What makes you think he's a 2? His handles?
Yeah.
His shooting, his perimeter defense?
More the shooting and the handles.
So RJ Barrett has the handles of a modern NBA 2-guard and the shooting of a modern NBA 2.
I think he said that because he's 6'6" and not 6'8". That's
that might be the only thing.
And that will give him the main advantage against other, I guess, 2s, is he can bully them. That's about it.
That's it. But RJ Barrett is not a Joe Johnson. Like Joe Johnson was 6'7" playing a 2, like 6'7", 230 playing a 2, like Jimmy Butler. But they had elite other stuff. Like at the end of the day, if you question Joe Johnson's defense or his rebounding or whatever it is, you knew for a fact that you could ISO Joe on any 2-guard in the NBA, and Joe was going to get buckets against any 2. And I don't care if it was Tony Allen, Bruce Bowen, Kobe Bryant, whoever. You could ISO Joe Johnson against another team's 2, and it was a bucket.
Yep.
That's why they called him ISO Joe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
RJ don't give you the vibes of any of that. What does RJ Barrett do at the 2-guard position that you feel like is at least average NBA 2 guard.
That's a good point. His shooting is inconsistent as heck. His free throw shooting is inconsistent. Yeah, he doesn't have a mid-range.
He don't pass.
He don't pass gas. His rebounding comes and goes. His defense comes and goes. Yeah.
Right.
So to me, talent-wise,
he doesn't post up consistently.
I'm gonna kind of put it out plainly. Over the summer, if RJ gets moved, if I had to put a number on it, it's probably like 20%. Now the following summer, I put that number on like 70. And knowing how this front office, knowing how this front office moves, we do not move a guy at lowest value that makes a decent amount of money. If we did, Fournier would have been out of here.
So my thing with RJ, people keep on thinking I hate RJ. I don't hate RJ. I like RJ. But the thing is, you are focusing and you prioritizing on the wrong freaking things.
It's true.
Look at Grimes. Grimes for the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games. It doesn't freaking matter. Grimes wasn't on a freaking slump.
He was bad for a while.
But guess what? You can never argue that on defense, Kid did his job.
Got that right.
And his passing.
So my inconvenience was until last night. First quarter, not counting first quarter, second, third, and fourth quarter, I kind of like everything that I saw from RJ. If RJ does not quit on plays, tries at least just try, because you never know. Somebody, whoever he's guarding, might slip. And just because he kept on pursuing it, he might even steal the ball. He might be in the better position to do something. But once you quit on a play, it's over.
I ain't gonna hold you nice. As of this streak, like as soon as Josh Hart got here, RJ's defense hasn't been nearly as bad as it was before.
He has put more effort, a little more effort. Yeah, a little more effort.
True.
Like during the streak, he's consistently given as much effort as he can. Now, RJ is pretty slow. So when you see him on these closeouts trying to close out, and it looks like
he's slow too.
Yeah. But
KB, but if you saw what he did yesterday, at least that's what I wanted to freaking see. Like at the end of the day, at least just try your best, because it's one of those that by the end of the day, if you keep on trying, now you could assess and start equating what can I do differently on the next one. Okay. But if you don't do your best on a game, how can we assess it? We don't even know what is your peak if you never keep on showing us your best. You keep on quitting on plays, you keep on driving to the lane, you keep on turning it over. God, geez, man, RJ, why? Stop doing it to yourself. He's like, it's not the fan. He's doing it to himself. And until he doesn't understand, just look at Grimes. Grimes shots wasn't going in. He wasn't frustrated, but he did his job. So
how do we know?
Let me.
All right, my fault. Go ahead.
And shout out to the Morning Brew. I even said it in his show. Like at the end of the day, Grimes' shot is going to come through. And look what happened yesterday. He let the game come towards him. If RJ gives that opportunity for the game to come towards him and not force it, I'm telling you, we will see another version of RJ.
Right.
Hey, y'all, hold on real quick. Let me bring my guy in real quick. I feel like I need to put a 3-piece suit on when you come in here, bro.
Salute, Curry.
Peace, salute. What's good? What's good? What's good?
What up, Corey?
All right. I was sitting in the background. I'm just trying to listen. You know what I'm saying? Because I like to let everybody get off real quick. But this RJ slander needs to stop. It needs to stop right here. Just off the simple fact that, number one, I know y'all don't like to hear this. He's 22. You know what I'm saying? That's one. All right. So that's my excuse, number one. Excuse number two is, they brought Josh Hart in here maybe to make him better. You understand what I'm saying? They'll make him raise the game. You know what I'm saying? Iron sharpens iron. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe he has time to sit on the bench to look at him and say, well, damn, maybe I need to improve on this. I need to put a little bit more hustle like this. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody in the chat and all you brothers up here, with all due respect, not to most of you all, y'all are looking at this through a wrong angle. You know what I'm saying? Knicks fans for so long have sat back and try to find one person, and we always pick on that one person. Last year was Randall. 2 years ago, exactly. 2 years ago, it was Alfred Payton.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? Listen, we all ain't gonna like what we like, but you need to love what's on the front of his jersey. The young man wants to be here, and you don't think he's gonna do everything in his possibility to stay? You understand what I'm saying? Somebody here.
Hey Lee, may I assist you with your point too?
Thank you, sir.
I don't want to cut you off, bro. I think you're cooking. But here's the thing I wanted to say too. For all the stuff that we saying about RJ Barrett, if we look at the total team stats, when we look at team stats, right? RJ get burnt on defense. Well, the teams ahead of us in terms of defensive field goal percentage are the Milwaukee Bucks and the Memphis Grizzlies. And the Grizzlies are only ahead of us by 0.9%. That's how much better they are, in terms of defense. Of not no advanced analytics, not no Uncle Freezy dug up this weird stat. How often does a team make a shot or miss a shot? The Knicks are third best in the NBA, and they only trail Memphis by 0.9% for being the best in the NBA.
That's interesting,
right? So those are the type of things that we need to take into account. Like, are we like picking out this one thing? Do we want everything to be perfect? If you do, that's your prerogative. I'm not judging you either way. But what I will say is, though, when you look at these things, let's look at these things with an open mind. Do the Knicks with RJ Barrett stop teams from scoring? Yes. And I pointed out a stat per ESPN.com. The Knicks are the third best team at that with RJ Barrett. And we're talking about trading RJ Barrett away for a team that has a worse field goal percentage than us. And we have RJ Barrett. Trading for OG Anunoby. Why?
For a bag of peanuts.
That'll be kind of a dumb trade there. And he's injury prone too. OG. And 18-15 from three. Yeah, I will not listen to that trade.
Yeah.
I'm not entertaining none of that garbage, period. You know what I'm saying? I'm not entertaining none of
only if it's for a star. Man.
Hold on a second. Let me finish, bro. Because y'all been talking for about an hour now, and I didn't say the word.
But you just got here, Lee.
I know that. I know that.
You just got here. You telling them to shut up because you just got here?
I didn't tell them to shut up now. I would never tell a grown man that.
Y'all be quiet, please.
Just give me a second. While I go on my diatribe.
Chat, bro. I'm sticking up for my chat, bro, because they was in here.
But I'm gonna say this right now. When we get to the playoffs, don't be surprised that young man steps up and be the reason why we might get to the Eastern Conference Finals. You understand what I'm saying? You never know. Stars are born in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just Brunson or Julius Randle, because they're gonna stay consistent. We always need that third cog. You know what I'm saying? That third oomph on some points. Look at, for example, Golden State. If it wasn't for Wiggins, who y'all were just talking about, you know what I'm saying? Do you actually think they would have won that championship last season?
Right now, they're 14th. We're third in that stat, and Golden State is 14th.
I'm just saying for an example.
Well, Wiggins been hurt and been missing games for personal reasons. Like he probably missed like damn near 20 games this year or more. probably.
Right.
But
right.
But I digress. So y'all go ahead. I digress. So, but y'all go ahead. And also too, like a lot of hot sauce for that too. For that thing I jumped out on. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dre.
This is my stance on it, man. Nobody is untouchable in my eyes if it brings us closer to a title.
Right.
If it has to be RJ, so be it. But I'm just not moving RJ just because we don't like how his development's been, just to get another player that's like marginally better than him.
Yeah, Dre. Ultimately, what we're saying is what me and Lee is saying is if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Thank you.
So like, and that's the approach this front office takes with their young talent. If it's not broken or completely, even if it is broken, like Randall was broken last year, they try to rehabilitate and maximize whatever it is that they do have at that current moment.
Because they look at what broke Randall. What broke Randall? Was it Randall breaking himself, or was it outside factors? It was outside factors.
Outside, yeah. It had nothing to do with Randall.
Right. Because 2 years ago in the playoffs, that was not Dre. I wanted to bring up a point that you made, right? And sometimes we speak so fast
that I skip
over points.
Yeah, my fault.
When you said Randall passed somebody open, the receiver of that pass also looked at Randall and relocated simultaneously. Right. 2 years ago, Randall in the playoffs, Randall may have been looking to throw that pass, but the receiver was not looking to relocate simultaneously.
Correct.
So when you look at a Reggie Bullock versus Quentin Grimes, I see that as an upgrade. Right?
Yeah. And even when he gets run off the line, Bullock can't even put the ball on the floor. He travels immediately.
And Grimes can fly to the rim too.
Oh my God!
And one of those passes where he passed him open, RJ actually set an off-ball screen to even free him up.
Right.
And that speaks to chemistry building, because we run a lot of read and react. So that speaks to IQ and chemistry being built between players off ball. Like, we rarely see off ball actions. It's a lot of the times it's improvised. And when you see improvised off ball action like that, where it's not called up or drawn up, that speaks to players learning each other's games. Yeah. And
Dre, you know what? Dre, I meant to send you a video. I'm not trying to cut you off, but what I want to do is hold us in this point and explain something so that we can continue this point, right? Yo, the Oklahoma City Thunder run that same style that you just mentioned, right?
It's true.
But the thing about the reason why they run it now, it looked like it looked terrible in the beginning of the year, right? It looked terrible. If I was Sam Presti, I would have been considering, like, do I move some of these pieces? But today, it looks like a symphony, bro. Right, the off-ball movement, reading bodies, Josh Giddey passing people open, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander passing people open, attacking the seams, kicking out to the corner for threes. They passing up that great three-pointer for an excellent three-pointer, and all of this without a big three, right? Because in my mind, SGA is not a big three member. You know what I'm saying? If you have a big three, SGA is not a guy that's. SGA is a elite finisher and playmaker around the rim, but he don't give you vibes that he's going to be an excellent three-point shooter or even a clutch performer against good teams. Not yet. Now that day may come. That day may come when he'll get better. You know, Trey Mann will get better. Josh Giddey will get better, right? But today, nah. Right now, they're getting better solely, and the Knicks are doing it, and the Sacramento Kings are doing it. For those of y'all got to go listen. For the basketball heads, yo, you got to get on YouTube and watch these offensive breakdown videos. And a lot of the offensive breakdown videos are Sacramento, OKC, and the Knicks. The wave, basically what it is it talks about a offensive player with heavy gravity, basically moving players around the floor so that everyone can get good shots based on gravity, based on the defense sucking in on one guy.
Yeah.
And this is what Tibbs has been telling us since day one. 2 principles: get 2 feet in the paint to spray out to 3-point shooters on the perimeter, and forcing double teams to create mismatches on the floor so that we can score. And with that said, now Tibbs has said that since day one. I remember him saying it. When I go back and look, I'm like, yeah, he did say that when he was 2 feet in the paint, spray out to the shooters. You know what I'm saying? We invite the double team so that we can get mismatches and all that stuff. So the Knicks are kind of doing that right now, but we're not doing it at the Sacramento Kings pace, which is about, Dre, what's their pace? Like 130 something? Like, what did they score again? Like 125?
Well, as of like their last stretch of this last month, they've been at 125 something.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, that's
average 120 plus this season. Sacramento, they lead the league in scoring.
Yeah,
right. And the reason why they do that is, for one, what they do is they create mismatches in transition.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
They get the rebound. First thing they do is they outlet it up the floor. So now the bigs are trailing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So now you have big wing players trying to stop a point guard, or big wing players guarding your big man. Right. Mm-hmm. And what that does is you attack the basket, kick out to the corners for 3, and the other team big man had no impact on the play defensively. Right.
You know something, Freezy? even piggyback on what you saying. Remember one thing, that another person or another player in our team that is actually helping for that cause, because if he was never hurt or he was never out, I'm telling you right now, we will be in that trajectory. And it's based because you have 3 players on the other end trying to box out Mitchell Robinson, trying to get him out of the paint or whatever, and you have 3 other Knicks players running. So if Mitchell Robinson or another player gets it, they're already passing it for a fast break. But the main reason that we never seen him with this team, I believe, is because of Mitchell Robinson, for him missing out.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I was
gonna lie on that one.
I was gonna say the thing that kind of separates us from other teams. Well, like, to be absolutely honest, the thing that's separating us right now is we're executing at a more crisp level at this point of the season. We're building better chemistry, and I wanted to say, Tibbs, man, who's the coach of the Hornets, by the way? I forgot his name.
Steve Clifford.
Steve Clifford had a clip basically stating that most teams in the league basically run the same stuff
all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is the level of talent and the execution.
Mm-hmm.
Some teams, like he mentioned, the Warriors and the Sacramento Kings, they might run a few things that are not typical of the normal NBA offense, but about 25 teams out of the 30 play the same. So it's, and he's saying the way that you alter, the way that you try to get teams uncomfortable is being way more aggressive, trapping, like basically what the Nick Nurse motto is, except Nick Nurse's team doesn't rebound very well. So when they trap and force bad shots, misses, they get killed on offensive glass, which is why they traded for Pirtle. But that's another story. But they're saying, he was saying essentially the league is going to move into teams playing more zone, like the Miami Heat do. Like the teams are going to lean into playing more zone, because having multiple guys that are playmakers, multiple guys that can make shots, there's just way too much talent in the league right now. On every team, there's about 2-3 guys that can get a bucket.
Yeah.
And 10, 15 years ago, outside of the great teams, there was one guy that was going to get a bucket on the team in isolation. And now there's just too many guys that can create their own shots, too many guys that can create shots for others.
Right.
And the spacing on top of that just makes it so hard to be consistently good at defense, which is why we're like exploiting teams right now. And if you've noticed, teams have been trying to play zone against us, and it's not as effective as it was earlier in the year.
Sure.
So like
that's because we're knocking down the shot, bro.
Yeah, we're knocking down the shot, but we're also creating better looks.
Moving the ball around the horn, baseline.
Because a lot of the looks that we created before weren't necessarily they were forcing us into those threes. Like we were shooting threes that they wanted us to shoot. We weren't hitting guys in the shooter pocket. We weren't hitting guys in momentum. We weren't really tossing it to the guy cutting in the middle of the zone.
Right.
The chemistry part of the game is slowly coming. Now, when you watch teams like the Bucks, when they've had the chemistry for 2, 3, 4 years, and they come out the gate with it, and when they miss parts like Giannis, and they still play a specific way, they still have a brand of how they play, and they still win games. That's the chemistry part of the game. So, hypothetically speaking, if we brought back the same exact roster next year, barring injuries, the only thing that separates us from the other teams is maybe playoff execution. But barring injuries, this is a 55-win team, in my opinion. Barring injuries and if we brought back the same roster, Josh Hart and everyone included. Now the difference is, I don't know what we might do in the playoffs. That's more reliant on adjusting and coaching and execution, which is good for a regular season, but you have to switch it up in the playoffs because everybody knows what you're going to do at that point. Go ahead, Freezy.
My bad, man. My bad. I hate to be that guy. You know, like when you talking. Yeah, but what I was gonna say and add to that, the 55-win thing, man. I think you kind of set my argument on his head. So I'm gonna have to reset that one, save that one for later. Okay. But there was another point too, though, when you mentioned the offense. When you mentioned the offense, I'm gonna ask Keyshawn, and it's not because he's a Packers fan, right? I'm just gonna ask Keyshawn a question, you know what I'm saying, just randomly, right? So Keyshawn, if I ask you what on offense do the Knicks do best, what would you say?
I would have to say probably, I mean, obviously they get out the way and let Randall and Brunson do their thing. That's definitely the first thing I'll say. But
in ISO?
Yeah, in ISO.
Mets, what would you say? What would you say, Mets? What do the Knicks do best on offense?
We're just talking offense, right?
Yeah.
Offense.
I would say maybe a combo of the catch and shoot, ISO, and when they're able to pull it off, maybe a bit of pick and roll.
G-Money, what would you say, G-Money?
Yeah, combination of everything. Give and go, tack in the middle, baseline cuts, backdoor cuts, like what Matt says, the catch and shoot. Also, Randall and Brunson, sometimes RJ posting up the little guys in the pinch post.
All right. Hey, IKBM Dre, what would you say that the Knicks do best on offense?
We create
what's their best asset?
Okay, we create advantages, whether getting mismatches in like we create advantages whether creating mismatches in one-on-one isolation situations or drawing doubles. Okay. And if I want to just drop one more thing, Brunson destroyed them in mismatches in the first half. He saw that they were doubling him, and he basically deferred, and we played in autopilot mode with an advantage 4-on-3 in the second half. While we necessarily didn't hit all those shots, and we didn't play completely focused, we got good shots majority of the time, even though Brunson wasn't the one scoring in the second half.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So y'all want my answer?
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, I won't answer.
No, go ahead. Nice. What do you think?
Manipulate the defender. So it's like a chess move. Think about it this way: if you have a Grimo quickly or somebody that is shooting threes, and somebody is really tightly defending them on that corner, or wherever it is, Randall or Brunson, is one of these two in particular, they will drive to them, forcing them to just release IQ or release grind for the moment, because if they don't move, they Randall or Brunson, they have an open lane. So now they forcing those defenders to actually move, so that if they do move, they pass it to Grime, and if they don't move, they have an easy split. And also, it seems them doing it also with Mitchell Robinson, because if they pass it to Mitchell Robinson, now Mitchell Robinson is actually calling two defenders.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Okay. All right. What I'm gonna say is simple.
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks, the Knicks' best asset on offense is drive to the basket. Period.
Yeah.
Take it, babe.
Yeah. Agreed.
Driving.
Yeah, we'll penetrate.
It's drive to the basket, and here is data to support.
Mm-hmm.
Right, the number one team in driving to the basket is the Oklahoma City Thunder. They do it 64.6% of the time, which is crazy. That's crazy that they do it that often.
Mm-hmm.
And they finish their field goal percentage on driving to the basket is 47.4%. They're constantly attacking the basket, threatening the rim, right? The Knicks are second with 56.2, right? OKC is 64.6. They're head and shoulders in a league of their own. And then the Knicks are behind them, and then the next closest team is the Indiana Pacers, the Utah Jazz, and they're like 4 or 5, 3 or 4 behind the Knicks, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Knicks have a thing that they do best. This is what I'm trying to instill in Knicks fans is, don't go by what other teams' offense look like, man.
Agreed.
Go by what our team's offense look like. Let's be good at what we do well.
Preach.
You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing I have with Mets fans, right? Mets fans want our team to look like the Braves. Man, I don't care about the Braves. I care about the Mets. Let's do what we do good. Whatever it is that we do well, let's keep doing that and maybe try to improve on that if we can. The Knicks drive to the basket relentlessly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Dre, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
And their field goal percentage on those drives is 48.9%.
That's not really good.
That's bad.
But it's not finishing at the rim.
It's getting
the
offensive
percentage on
rebounds.
drives. Yeah. That's not. Think about what I said. Now I'm talking about percentage
Right.
on drives to the rim. I mean, drives to the basket.
Yeah. Because I'm conflating it because SGA. I mean, OKC drives a lot to the paint, but a lot of that is SGA doing pull-up jumpers from like 14, 13 feet.
In mid, threatening, like 8-footers, floaters.
And that's Brunson's bag. Yeah, push shots, floaters. Yeah, all of that stuff.
All of that comes in to this thing. The Knicks have a higher field goal percentage from the floor on drives to the rim than OKC, which is the leader in the clubhouse. They do it way more times a game than us. There's no way we can catch them and beat them with 18 games left. Right. Yeah, boss.
But isn't that mostly because where the Thunder are usually rely on SDA to hit pull-up shots, floaters, and the occasional hooks. We're basically driving for the quick layup or a slam, which is why our percentage is a little higher than theirs.
If it's there. Think about it. If the dunk is there, OKC is going to take it. A lot of times it's not, so they have to pull up.
Yeah.
But if you look at Brunson and RJ's shot profile, when they get into the paint, it's a lot of floaters or mid-range shots in Brunson's case.
True. Sometimes a post up for Brunson too.
Right.
I'm just saying if it's someone like Obi or Mitch or Hartenstein in the rare case, or Randall, it's usually point blank, stuck me,
Yeah,
lay it up,
yeah.
or smash it.
Right. But the thing is, here's the other thing too, Dre. This is where another thing that we have to look at. Right. So we're far and away second in drives to the rim, right?
Yeah.
But we're third in terms of passes attacking the rim.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we do it 56 times a game, and we pass 22 times a game. So you know what that tells you, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing that says, listen, man, if you're driving to the rim and somebody is there, maybe you should pass instead of forcing up a bad shot.
It's true.
Yep.
Got that right.
Yeah, maybe guys like Grimes should relocate on the perimeter so that Randall can find him on his drives, and maybe the same, because Dre, you know how I bash RJ, right? I bash RJ with him not passing, right? I'm like, RJ, pass the ball.
He's a ball hog sometimes.
Maybe he got that little tunnel vision.
You know what? Maybe I was reconsidering this today, right? Maybe the receiver needs to present himself better to RJ. Maybe RJ Barrett don't think he's open.
Because because there's a lot of times RJ drives in the paint and he does a jump pass and then it's a turnover.
Yeah, jump pass.
And he's just not that level of playmaker because
pull that off.
Yeah, he's kind of he's a good player,
or necessarily handle, because even though Steve Nash is his godfather, he doesn't really keep his dribble all the way through.
No, he does not keep his dribble.
He makes a decision. I'm gonna jump in the air and something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So
Randall does that too, but he could pull it off because I think he's more athletic, so he can just do that.
This is what development is though, because Randall did this for 3 straight years, turning the ball over a myriad of ways, a myriad of times. But he's held a little bit different, even though he sees the look way more than RJ sees that look in terms of the jump pass.
Right.
So this part to me is even more conclusive. Think about it this way, Freezy and everybody in the panel. If Julius Randle did the same thing that he's doing right now with the team and the plans from last year, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. The main reason it's working this season is because Jalen Brunson, is because of Randall, and it's definitely because of Mitchell Robinson. Because now if you have shooters outside the perimeters, now you need to force those defenders to guard those 3-pointers. So now with Randall like with a double team and somebody that is skinnier than him or something, he could take that double team with no problem. Brunson doing those little gimmicks, like he's about to go up and all of a sudden then he turns left, he turns right. People can't keep up with him. So he could do it. So that's the main reason it's looking so good. But if it was Randall alone, man, everybody will be waiting on Randall down there.
I mean, to be honest, he's also identifying the double team earlier. So he's not just sitting there waiting for it to come upon him. If he's like not conceding to every pass that he makes has to be the assist. He's like, if he sits there in a post and the double's coming, he's just gonna push it. He's just gonna move it right back out to the perimeter, and someone else is gonna make the next pass, like Brunson or RJ or someone else, hypothetically speaking. Right. It doesn't necessarily have to be his action that creates the shot. He can trigger a hockey assist essentially, and which he's been doing a lot more.
And plus too, this is the thing that I wanted people to appreciate and understand more too. All of these guys get like Randall. Okay, so Randall's an all-star. He's a 2-time all-star now, right? He'll probably be all NBA again. When guys get stuff like that on their resume to validate their existence in the NBA, then the total priority after that usually is winning, right? A lot of times dudes want to prove that they belong in the league, and then winning is secondary, right? Like it's what I think OB is going through right now. Like OB was a high flyer coming out of college. He wanted to prove he may have visions on being a star, and I think some of that is his day of reckoning has come now he's realizing that he's got to maybe subdue some of those personal passions and take on the total team concept. Winning has got to be the most important, right? And so I think Randall is doing that too. So now you see those, instead of like him passing out and still trying to play make, he don't need to do that no more. He's validated his existence already. Julius Randle is a great NBA player, right? Compared to the thousands that have played. And for those that question Randle being a great player, I will dig up the dead bodies of Quincy AC and Isaiah. What's Isaiah name? What's Isaiah Hicks? Luke Cornett.
Oh God.
You know what I'm saying?
Noah Vonleh.
Noah Vonleh. Yeah. Oh my.
Sasha Vujicic, Lance Thomas.
Yeah,
Lou
Kevin
Anderson.
Seraphin. You remember Kevin Seraphin?
He was on the
Jordan
team.
Hill.
Ronnie Terrio.
Yo, y'all remember Jeremy
Renato
Tyler?
Bachman. Trevor Reeves was there
Chris
first year. Matt
Copeland.
Barnes.
Anthony
Barnes
Randolph. Remember we got Anthony Randolph from Golden State?
Yeah.
Bro, you know what I'm saying? So out of all
Andre
those guys
Bajani.
out of all those guys that we just mentioned, Randall is 3 times better than the best player out of that group. You know what I'm saying? So to the point I'm getting at, now these guys are less focused on trying to establish themselves and more focused on trying to win on a nightly basis. And you can see it in Brunson's eyes. Like, Brunson don't care nothing about he cares about the personal stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Because the sick day he took after the All-Stars was named, to me, just proved that he was frustrated. You know what I'm saying? Because he took a sick day. It's like the dude ain't have no signs of. The dude played through a bruised hip, and he might play Friday night through a bruised knee, right? But the All-Stars are named, and he not on it. All of a sudden, he's sick.
I don't blame him.
But we'll give him a pass, though.
Yeah, I don't blame him for being mad about that.
Yeah, I don't blame him about being mad at that either. You know what I'm saying? Because he should have been there, but you know,
it is what it is. He's gonna get on that All NBA team, by the way.
Yeah.
More likely, yeah. I know we talk. Sorry.
G Money, you think Jalen Brunson is a top 6 guard in the NBA?
You can see for this season, yeah. You can see for this season, he has been top 6 guard for this season. You can argue. I mean, he's drawing charges, keeping his feet, posting up guys in a low block, his mid-range, his baseline shot, especially at the elbow and at the baseline, has been phenomenal. So he's
in the same conversation with Damian Lillard and Steph Curry.
Well, I mean, DeMar DeRozan made All NBA last year, so
yeah.
Even though I do think Dame
he's in the
and Curry
same
are better
conversation with
players,
Ja Morant.
You can say for this season, you can say yeah. And another thing too. Another thing too. I know we talk about the Knicks, but another team that runs just stupid offensive plays, the Los Angeles Clippers, man. This team was up by 12 on the Warriors, man, and this team just hogs the ball. They don't give and go. They don't swing the ball. People talk about the Knicks sometimes. If you watch the Clippers offense, you'll bang your head to a wall because this team doesn't give and go at all. Turnovers, they just dribble, bad shot, man.
The guard
what I'm
players
going to say
really
is
bad.
I don't think Jalen Brunson is going to make All NBA, bro. And I want him to be, but I don't think he's going to make it.
Look, Freezy, he got Player of the Month, and that's usually all NBA players.
Is he in the same conversation with Ja and Luka?
I mean, Luka can be placed as a guard or a wing, like his like on all NBA teams. He literally is he point guard? Because I know in his first few years they have him listed as PG or small forward at the same time or shooting guard, which is weird. Like they had him jump up, but yeah, he's not. I won't say in terms of fanfare, but I've seen Pascal Siakam make it when he didn't make the All-Star game, but he's also a forward, and there's forward center bigs, and there's basically what 9 slots for that.
I don't think he's going to make it over Ja Morant.
I'd have to see who's up in the running. I don't think he'll make it over Ja Morant either, because powers that be politics as well. Even though he's actually playing better than Ja Morant. Huh?
Isn't Ja Morant arrested right now or something like that?
No,
it's alleged. It's alleged though. We don't know. It's alleged.
Yeah, I saw a tweet.
He's not arrested or anything. Like no charges were brought up on him. There wasn't enough evidence. It was just
It's alleged. We don't
something.
know.
It's alleged. Yeah, it's just an accusation at this point.
Probably pay that kid off.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing with the conversation about Jalen Brunson being all NBA. Is he playing better than De'Aaron Fox right now? Tyrese Halliburton, Anthony Edwards, Jalen Brown, Luka, Kyrie. Is he playing better than Donovan Mitchell, John Morant, Damian Lillard, SGA? I don't know.
Dame is gonna make it for sure.
Mixed bag.
Steph might make it just because whenever he comes back, he's gonna make it just because even though he missed a lot of time.
Yeah,
it's only 6 slots.
It's only 6 slots, and you know he's not gonna be first team all NBA. They usually have that reserved for somebody who is a fixture. Like you don't just become all NBA out of the blue and be first team.
I think Ja gonna be first team.
No, Dame.
Or Dame too. Respectfully.
So y'all think it's Dame and Ja on first team NBA?
Wait. If it's both, Luka's gonna be there regardless because Luka's I think first in scoring right now. As we
right.
See.
Yeah. Luka. That's what I'm saying. So if Luka, Ja, and Dame are gonna be all NBA, that means it's 3 slots left. And can Brunson get one of those 3 slots?
I don't know.
I mean, he can, but I don't think he will. Can he?
Is he gonna
really
make it over Devin Booker? Devin Booker missed a lot of the season, though.
Yeah,
he
Devin
missed a lot of the season.
Probably, yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And the record isn't that great at the moment, so
For the
that can change, but it's not a good record. But I'm thinking third team. I think it's going to be one of the last 2 slots, and DeMar DeRozan made it last year as like maybe I think third team. And
yeah, DeMar DeRozan, bro, that's tough. That's tough, man. I don't know. It's 6 slots, bro. You're talking about Luka. You're talking about what about Kyrie? How y'all feel about Kyrie?
He's not, no.
Nah.
Kyrie's kind of been too inconsistent in Dallas. I know he had a monster game versus Philly, but he's kind of been streakier than Carwax in Dallas.
And you also have to take into account writers decide all NBA teams, and writers are not that fond of him.
So y'all think Jalen Brunson over Tyrese Halliburton?
Yeah.
The way the Pacers have fallen off, and Tyrese has been hurt a lot. Yeah.
They just lost to the Spurs twice.
I don't think Tyrese played last night. No, he played.
Bro, I'm saying it's a lot of guards out here, G Money.
Yeah.
A lot of good guards out here, man.
I think he got it over Halliburton this year.
Yeah.
So if the guards on the first team are Dame and Luka, then the second team has to be Ja and maybe Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah. Yeah.
That means the third team is who? You leaving Steph Curry off?
Curry might be on there.
You leaving off Steph Curry. You leaving off Kyrie. Right? You leaving off Chris Paul. You leaving off Devin Booker.
Chris Paul's not gonna be in there. No. Not even.
Okay.
Not this year for him. No. He's falling off a bit.
All right. So you're gonna leave off. That's interesting, bro.
I think he can have a shot depending on how we close the season out.
Yeah.
For that number 6
like
spot.
some politics for like
because at this point when you win Player of the Month, that kind of validates and solidifies your place. Because if we're keeping it a buck, Freezy, it's only about like 2 other guards playing better than Brunson right now.
Right.
Straight up point guards. And that's like Luka and Dame. That's it.
Okay. So but my point to it is okay, so if Luka and Dame are the first 2 guards, right?
Mm-hmm.
All NBA first team. Second team is Ja and say who else do we have? Ja and I just saw there
Donovan Mitchell, you said?
Donovan Mitchell, yeah. If that's Ja and Donovan Mitchell, right? then how you gonna tell me Tyrese Halliburton and SGA are not the third guards, the
Oh,
third set of guards?
I'm taking Brunson over Tyrese in
How
that
you gonna
regard
tell me
because
that James Harden,
uh,
who's leading the league in assists,
Not
is
Harden,
not
no.
all NBA over Jalen Brunson, and his team has a better record?
What about Drew Holiday?
Nah,
Would
he
you
didn't
consider
make the
Drew
All-Star
Holiday?
game either,
What about
which
Drew
is a
Holiday?
joke.
What
Drew
about Drew
Holiday?
Holiday?
Yeah, I
I'm
think
not saying.
Holiday would have a better show. He's having a better season.
I'm
You
not
gotta,
saying.
you
I'm
gotta, you
not
gotta
saying
take this
better
into
Brunson.
account, Freezy,
Listen, I'm
because
just
if he
saying.
closes, if Brunson closes out the year averaging 28 or near 30 the last 20 something games, he's gonna finish the year averaging 25, 6, and like 4,
Mm-hmm.
which is on par for being an All NBA player, which
But
is
the thing about
essentially
it,
basically what DeRozan did last year,
Mm-hmm.
which was 25 and
Dre,
6. I think DeRozan.
I think your argument has some holes in it.
In what way?
I think it has some holes.
I think
in it,
well, it's not a perfect science, it's not perfect math, but when all NBA teams are
Breezy, I'm
decided,
gonna hop out.
Okay,
Peace,
hey, we
Mets.
doing Mets tomorrow, bro.
Me too. I gotta go.
Peace match,
Wow.
I'm about to be out too.
but when it's
everybody.
decided,
Short term.
it's like a combination of a few things that decide it, like contention, winning games, statistical numbers, accolades within the season, kind of play into it. Even though he didn't make the All-Star game, he got Player of the
Trae
Month.
Young is averaging 27 and 10 assists, bro.
He didn't make the All-Star game,
And neither did Brunson. Right.
but his team's record
Yeah,
is
this team's like the 11th seed, right?
his team's 500. I think they're like the 9th seed or 10th right now.
Yeah.
So when
what
it's
about
not a
De'Aaron
perfect
Fox?
science.
What about De'Aaron Fox, man?
Oh, De'Aaron is playing at a high level.
Yeah.
I'd even say De'Aaron's playing better than John Morant.
Ooh.
He's more efficient than John.
Oh man.
The records are very similar at the moment.
Yo, I count 8 guards that I think can make it over Brunson.
Ooh.
And it's
Wow, crazy for real.
Yep. Yeah. And listen, I'm not saying that I don't want Jalen Brunson.
No, I'm not saying
I
that,
want
but
Jalen Brunson to be an All NBA player, but I could see 8 guards getting the nod over Brunson. And here are those guards, by the way: Anthony Edwards, Jaylen Brown, Donovan Mitchell, right? Luka Doncic, Damian Lillard, SGA, John Morant, Trae Young, Kyrie, De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
tell
gonna
you,
have to
no,
make a
that's
4th
more
All
than
NBA
8, by the
team
way.
because this is, man.
Hey,
It's
yo,
too
wouldn't it be a
stacked.
crime?
It's
Wouldn't it be a crime though if he didn't make it?
It wouldn't be a crime.
Oh, what?
I won't say it wouldn't be a crime. I think he's deserving, but it's kind of the same way about his All-Star campaign because the only
I was about to say the same thing.
the only reason he didn't get in is because of the format, because it's biased to bigs and forwards, because you can get an extra forward or big in the game. Whereas
Right,
it's
and
two, where it's just 2 starters and 2 reserves.
right. But Dre, but you notice I didn't say James Harden and my man from San Antonio.
Keldon Johnson?
No, that went to Atlanta.
Oh, DeJounte.
DeJounte Murray. Notice I didn't even include them.
DeJounte's not up there. He's like 20 and 6, and like he's not shooting at a high clip or efficiently. That is.
But he's a 2-way point guard though.
True. But
right, because you can't just we don't want to just look at all offensive numbers.
I mean, you can say that, Freezy, but if we keep calling it a spade, offense is like greatly weighted. It's weighted a lot more because if it wasn't, Rudy Gobert would make All NBA teams, even though he's getting Defensive Player of the Year awards. He has less All NBA teams than Defensive Player of the Year awards.
Right.
So,
right.
If defense was weighed evenly with offense in those awards and categories, it's a counting numbers contest at that point.
Right.
Counting numbers, counting wins, counting points per game, counting assists, counting rebounds. Those things are heavily weighted, and this is which makes the Trae Young thing puzzling as well because 27 and 10 is still 27 and 10, but it's not very efficient.
Right. No doubt.
That's Trae Young made it. You made an All NBA team last year, I believe.
Right.
You guys think Quinn Snyder would probably fix that team up, or you think Trae gonna get him fired too?
I don't know.
I'm gonna say this. I went out on the limb and I told them cats over there that we talk Hawks. I said Trae got 2 more years to tighten up. If not, he's on the chopping block. They're gonna send him on down the road.
Right.
Because you can't just keep going through these coaches and like one day, they're gonna have to figure it out. The problem is not the coach, but it's actually the players.
The players, man.
You know what I'm saying? Because the system is instilled. All they got to do is execute. And just because you don't want to execute to his degree, which is the coach, and follow his system because you think that you're so much other than what is expected. You understand what I mean?
Right.
Or did I phrase that right?
Yeah. Now I'm with you, Lee. I'm with you.
I
understand your point.
And I think Quinn Snyder is a good coach too. So I
think he's a good coach. I don't know if it'll transfer in the playoffs, but in the regular season they're gonna win 50 something games with him, in my opinion.
Possibly.
Well, it depends how the East shakes out next year because it's gonna be slugfest again. Well, I don't know if Harden comes back, but it's neither here nor there.
I think Harden is in Houston.
I think Harden. I don't know why he wants to go to Houston, but the science is that he loves it out there. There's no pressure. He can get his stats, get his tax-free money, go clubbing and come in out of shape. And not really worry about nothing else.
He's not a winner, bro. It's just what it is.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Like a lot of these players don't really aren't concerned with winning like that anymore.
Bro, it's something to be said about celebrity, bro. Celebrity is a real thing. I was just having this conversation about celebrity status and boxers. You notice some boxers, bro, once they become the champ, like they climb up the mountain. Once you get to the top,
they lose their hunger. Hunger.
Once you get to the top, you become a celebrity. You know what I'm saying? The same thing with Harden. Harden won his MVP. That's his mountaintop. Winning NBA championships is not his mountaintop. You know what I'm saying? And you hate to question people. You hate to question people's heart. But yeah.
Yeah, some people just care about
other stuff.
He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Get it twisted. That's what
matters to him.
Once you hit that threshold, ain't nobody really when we look back at James Harden 10, 15, 20 years down the line, it's gonna be basically how we looked at John Stockton or Karl Malone, like great player. We're not gonna dump on him.
I think Stockton won to win though.
Charles Barkley. Yeah, too.
Yeah, I think Barkley.
Hold on a second. You cannot put James Harden in the context of those players because those players at that time wanted to win. I mean, you saw it in their face. You saw it every time they stepped on the court. James Harden, to me, in my opinion, he's too lackadaisical. He was never that type of guy to be like, give me the ball, I want to win. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of his stats were gaslighted. You know what I'm saying? He is a very good free throw shooter, and that's how he got majority of his points for the bulk of what we will call his prime. You understand what I'm saying? Because he's pretty much on the tail end.
Lee, I wouldn't put him in the Malone Stockton thing. I would put Harden in the Carmelo Anthony category.
Facts.
That's what I would do. Carmelo Anthony, Dominique Wilkins, Alex English. and David Thompson, those guys.
I was going to ask you, Freezy, do you think Dame Lillard wants to win?
Oh yeah,
I think Dame Lillard wants to win a certain way
on his terms.
I think he wants to win in Portland with the team centered around him, and if he don't get it, he'd be okay with that.
But at
that's
some
respectable.
point, but here's the thing. I saw an interview with Paul George today, and he came to the realization is like, if I win a title, it's not because I'm the number one guy. And Dame might need to hit that realization where there is no reality where you can build a team around him and win a title. Not for Portland.
I'm gonna tell you something, bro, and about winning, and I know you know basketball. I mean, that's your name. I know basketball, man. You know what I'm saying? What I would say about winning is the thing about winning is this: you have to be so disciplined and so lucky that fate favors you over another franchise. Right. And here's how I know that. Right. Here's how I know. The Houston Rockets got the number 1 pick in the draft 2 years in a row. Right. 2 of them. Right. And 83, they drafted a 7'4" dude out of Virginia. Right.
Ralph Sampson.
Lee, would you let me? Lee.
My fault.
Lee, my man. Lee is my man, man. I be messing with Lee, man. Right. Lee is absolutely, that's my dog right there, right? So here's the thing, right? Ralph Sampson was the unquestioned number 1 pick in the 1983 draft. Right? You are not taking Rodney McCray or Byron Scott or Thurl Bailey or the big dog, Anton Carr, or Dale Ellis or Derek Harper or Clyde Drexler, or you weren't taking any of them. You weren't taking Roy Henson. You weren't taking any Mitchell Wiggins, Andrew Wiggins pops. You wasn't taking Mitchell Wiggins. None of them dudes over Ralph Sampson in 83. Right?
Right.
The 84 draft comes. Though, right? And here's where fortune favors certain teams, and you have to have a certain type of mindset, right? In 84, when you had the number 1 pick, right? Man, the Hakeem Olajuwon pick is so tantalizing, right? It's so tantalizing, right? That you almost gotta take Olajuwon with that pick, right? Or do you? Or do you, right? Or do you pass on Olajuwon, make the trade with Philly, right? Do you make the trade with Philly and then take Charles Barkley, the pick after Jordan, and take John Stockton?
Oh.
Right. Well, now, revisionist history tells you have to take Olajuwon because at the end of the day, if either one of those guys don't fit, then you can either trade Olajuwon or trade Ralph Sampson.
Right.
But fortune tells us, history tells us that fortune favors the risk takers. Right? Because the Celtics drafted Larry Bird a year before he was eligible, and they negotiated with him the whole year to get a rookie contract, and he didn't agree.
How was that legal? Well, before he was eligible?
It's the Celtics, bro. They just do whatever they want to do. It's why the Celtics are always good. It's the reason why they always good, bro. I'm telling you, I was around. I'm telling you, Dre.
He ain't lying.
So if you're the Rockets, you take centers and back-to-back drafts, knowing you can only play one, and move another one out of position. Right? They thought Sampson was going to be the center, and Olajuwon, the athlete, was going to be able to play power forward. They come to camp. Olajuwon is the center. Ralph Sampson is now a 7'4" power forward. Tell me if the 7'4" power forward thing pans out, because as long as I've been knowing it, it always leads to injuries.
Yep.
Right. All right. So here's the thing. If you're Houston, you could trade that pick in 83 to say the 85 draft. Say a thirsty team like the Knicks, you know what I'm saying, wanted to take that pick in 83. Say they wanted Olajuwon in 83. You could have got their pick in 85. Whoever the Knicks picked in 85, whatever, right? Whoever the Knicks picked in 85 with the number one pick, with their first round pick, it don't matter for this analogy because I'm talking about Houston's perspective, right? Champions in this league take risks, and they are willing to live with the consequences, right? If it don't pan out, you know what they do? They reload and try to take another risk. Because we were talking about in the 83, in the 80, was it the 83 draft? What was it? Who was it we was talking about at earlier? Lee, was that the 83 draft or the 82 draft?
83.
Ralph Sampson.
Ralph Sampson.
The 83 draft, and a guy in the where is it? I can't find it. But anyway, a team like the Knicks that are risk averse are never going to win a championship until they get the number one pick and trade it to a Philadelphia so they can take Markelle Fultz, and then the Celtics let them take Fultz and let the Lakers take Lonzo Ball, and the Celtics get Jason Tatum. See, the Celtics could have drafted Jason Tatum number one. They could have. And that would have been the end of that story, right? But you know what they did? They were like, you know what? These fools out here is thirsty. Let's let them spend their bread all crazy. We'll get that money. We'll cop that guap. And that's what they did. Not only did the Celtics get Jason Tatum to go with Jaylen Brown, they got future draft picks. They had so many. By the time the OB draft got here, they had so many draft picks, they was throwing them away. Right? Am I lying? Think about the OB draft. They had 3 picks at the bottom of the first round. Right? Philly picks. Right? But who was last year's Eastern Conference finalist? The Boston Celtics. In order to win championships in this league, you got to be a risk taker. The Lakers did everything they could to get Magic Johnson, bro. Everything. Sat dudes, made up fake false medical documents and all this stuff so they could be in that coin flip for Magic. They get in the coin flip, they get Magic Johnson, and the rest is history for them. Right? The Celtics did the same. The Miami Heat traded away everything on their roster except Dwayne Wade. They picked a dude number 2 in the draft the year before, Michael Beasley,
and said,
you gotta go. Him away.
Shot him to the moon. I don't even remember what team he got traded to.
Right.
Was it the Minnesota? Was it Minnesota?
Yeah, I think it was Minnesota.
Yeah, you got to be a risk taker in this league, bro. That's what ultimately.
But Freezy, I was going to ask you a question. As a player, then, if you were in Dame's situation, are you taking a risk going to another team, or are you just content with winning on your own terms?
It depends. It depends. Like, okay, say for instance, me and IKBM Dre are the backcourt of the New York Knicks, and we've been the backcourt of the New York Knicks for say 10 seasons, right? And say the both of us are 30 years old. We done made the All-Star team about 4 or 5 times. We done been All NBA 2 or 3 times. And the team we at is a second-round team that can't get no further. No matter what we do, we done added shooting. We done changed coaches twice. Me and Dre done got in the best shape of our lives. We come in, we sleep the entire offseason we sleep in hyperbaric chambers, all this stuff. And we go into the season our 11th season and we get bounced in the second round, and we can't bring a championship to New York, right? No matter what we've done, right? We both made the All-Star team. We both all NBA. Dre have a career high in scoring. Say he lead the league in scoring, right? But Adam and Corey Lee, and Corey Lee, they go to they play for the Spurs, and they done won their second championship, and they texting us, bro, the champagne tastes so much better when it's cold, bro. There's nothing like championship champagne.
That's true,
right? And
so
then
you would
me,
pull the
and
KD
then
move. Would you pull the KD move?
No, I'm saying I'm about to ask you the question that you asked me, right?
Right.
You done did everything for the Knicks, bro. You done live and die for the Knicks. They done wheeled you off the court with a torn ACL. You done battled your way all the way back and made the All-Star team with a Knicks jersey on. But then we make it to the playoffs and we lose, right? And all of a sudden, the Miami Heat have gutted their roster, knowing that both of us are free agents, right? They can only sign one of us outright. They ready to contend for a championship, right? They got all the core pieces. They just need a championship shooting guard, a great shooting guard, and Dre is that guy. Dre, do you stay in New York, or do you go to the Heat to validate your career? Because right now, based on all the stuff I said, you are in that John Stockton conversation. One of the greatest dudes to ever play to never win a championship. Would you stay with the Knicks, or would you go to Miami to try to win a chip?
I'm leaving it. But this is
on
hold on.
Midnight train to Georgia.
Yeah, I'm saying, but this is the thing. This is the thing. Guys like Kevin Durant and Dame Lillard and all these other guys, they put in 10,000 hours. They put in 20,000 hours on their craft, 30,000 hours on their craft. They put in, it's their life's work. At some point, they want to feel a validation, like, was it all worth it? Now, some things mean different to other people. But if you put in a certain amount of work into whatever craft that you're in, you want to be validated to the highest point or the highest extent. Like, you want to see that validation.
Right.
You don't want to, in Kevin Durant's case, you don't want to be looked at as one of the greatest scorers ever to ever lace him up and never win a title. Even if your organization. No. I'm saying before he went to the Warriors. Like, you don't want to be viewed as one of the greatest scorers ever, and you never won a title despite your organization's failure to build a correct machine around you. Or same for LeBron. And then there's also like ring culture, which is a thing that also imprints what people may feel on you and your career. So right. I mean, we're human. We hear the voices, and we also want validation. That's a natural human emotion. So right. at a certain point, if I'm Dame Lillard or anyone else, and I put in 50,000 hours on a particular craft to be as great as I can be at something, and I never get the pinnacle of my sport, and never really tried to or put the odds in my favor, then that speaks to me thinking that you don't really want to win the title. It's just
I wouldn't say that. It could be about his personality too. Like, Dame's he went to a small college. He never went to a big school.
He went to a small college because he was never recruited. That's why.
Yeah, that too. And then he's in a small market team right now. Maybe he's just not. He's not the type of person to just. Maybe that's just not in his personality. Like, I feel like
some people would rather be the big fish in a little pond.
Yeah, I think he feels more comfortable.
Hold on a second. How about this? I got another perspective to bring to this conversation. You know what I'm saying? If you ever notice, back in the late 80s, early 90s, a lot of these cats, even through free agency that we speak of and we look at as ringless stars, you know what I'm saying? The Patrick Ewings, the Charles Barkleys, the Dominique Wilkins, they all had their opportunities to possibly go somewhere else and, team up with another player. But their whole thought process, and this is what I give to Dame. Their whole thought process is that I am the man and I will be that. So I'm not going someplace, you know what I'm saying, to try to find me somewhere else, you know, or somebody else to team up with. You know what I'm saying? For example, like the whole the Heat situation. You know what I'm saying? How they all just pre-planned that together. You know what I'm saying? As soon as the season ended, they got together, they thought about it, or during the season, they all conspired together to do that.
And I think with Dame, I think he sees like how KD moves from all these teams. He looks desperate. Like he's just desperate for that validation. Like Dame, he's comfortable in his own skin. He's not really out. Like he wants to win. He wants to win a title, I think. But I don't think
He wants to win on his own terms, though.
Yeah, I don't think he's like desperate for all that.
I got a question for y'all. Do you think if you were
Dre,
playing?
you ain't let me finish. Dre, you didn't let me finish my point.
My fault, Freezy, because you dipped off the camera, so I didn't know you was.
I just wanted to say, in a scenario where me and you are the backcourt, and you said you leave and go to Miami, bro, I would stay with the Knicks. And the reason why is it goes right into the Dame thing. The reason why I stay in New York is because I laid down roots there. Like they chose me when they could have chose somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And so my thing is I'm gonna be loyal to them as long as they're loyal to me. You know what I'm saying? Because of like in that scenario what I mentioned, like Dre got hurt his knee, came back and was once again an all-star. You know what I'm saying, for his squad that chose him over everybody else.
But Freezy, if I wasn't an all-star, they would get rid of me because it's a business.
I understand that point. I understand that point, and I accept those consequences. Right, but
I don't I work for a big corporation, so like the concept of loyalty.
Now,
right? Yeah, you live in the right way.
I work for a me corporation because I worked for corporate America for years, bro. That's how come I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, like, to a certain extent, yeah, they picked you, but if you don't perform, they will easily get rid of you. So at some point,
but I did perform.
And they kept you and they paid you because you were
right. Now we agreed to terms.
Right,
we agreed to terms. Yeah,
but I can also decide that this organization is failing me on building a team that can win me a title, so I could decide when my contract is up that I don't want to come to terms with this organization and I can go somewhere else where I hedge my own bets.
Right, but
did OKC fail? Like, I don't think they failed to build a team around KD.
Oh, they did. Right. They built it, and then they decided, okay, we're not going to keep James Harden.
Yeah, that was a big part of it. Yeah. They still want to
instead of using the amnesty on Kendrick Perkins. That's the failure right there. Yeah, they gave up on that young superstar core to turn it into a 2-man group thing, which I mean, cool. But the Heatles existed with 3 superstars.
But that's once in a lifetime, though, bro. We didn't know the Heat were going to be that good. I mean, we didn't think they were going to be a dynasty.
I mean, when they first got together, when they first got together, we thought they were going to win multiple championships. Like, come on, easy.
I think they kind of underachieved in my opinion.
I think y'all sleeping. I think y'all sleeping on the Spurs' impact in this.
I mean,
the Spurs were already in the midst of a dynasty at that point.
What would you call it, a dynasty? Because they didn't win from 2007 to like, when did they win?
2014.
So 7 years. So I wouldn't even call it a dynasty. It was a whole different. I mean, they technically had the same core, but they wouldn't win it without Kawhi being the big dog on that team.
Okay.
And the other guys were falling off to that point. They reinvented themselves relatively.
Kawhi,
so I mean,
Green.
Yeah, like I'll say that, Freezy, but like when the Heat got together, we assumed they were going to win multiple titles. They were even talking about it like they were puffing out their chest, like not 5, not 6, not 7. They thought.
Yeah.
And then LeBron hedged his bets again, and he created the other team on the Cavs.
Right.
And then the Warriors dynasty came out of nowhere, out of left field for him.
Right, but fortune favors the risky. See, you know what I'm saying? And the reason why I say that is Miami took a risk that they were going to get some combination of Amari, Carmelo, LeBron, Bosh, and Wade together. Right? Miami was hedging their bets. They knew we have 3 spots for 5 guys. Right? Amari does his thing. Well, I'm sorry. Chris Bosh signs first. Right? Dwayne Wade, we knew Dwayne Wade was going to re-sign, but he signs last because you can go over the cap to re-sign your guy because of the bird rights rule, right? And so Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade wait 10 days for LeBron to sign. And LeBron plays it perfectly, right? Because he don't want to get Miami hit with tampering charges, even though everybody knew he was going to Miami, right? The whole LeBron to New York thing was you knew he wasn't going there, right? And Carmelo forced the trade so he can get his extension the year before, right? So Carmelo Anthony had already got his money, you know. Or I'm sorry, not then, but 3 years prior, Melo did his thing early when he shouldn't have, when he should have just waited. And if he would have waited, he would have been in that 2010 free agency class, right? But here's the thing. Miami took a risk. And it's something to be said about teams that are risky, bro. Right? Golden State got rid of all their veterans for the loophole summer. And they took a risk that KD would listen to them. And KD messed around and is like, okay, I'll listen to y'all. And it just I'll hear y'all out. And the next thing you know, all of them are sipping ice cold champagne. It like Rihanna, strip clubs and dollar bills. You know what I'm saying? It's that, right? What I'm saying, what I'm getting at, Dre, is ultimately the Dame Lillard thing. Portland is so risk averse, right? Portland, in case y'all don't notice, over the years, Portland does not attract key free agents. They double down on homegrown talent. That's their thing. Homegrown talent. And they'll bring in the occasional good player from the outside in a trade. But a lot of times, if a player is good that they bring in a trade, when he hits free agency, he's shooting them the deuces.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So ultimately, if you're Dame and you know this, you know the only way you can win a championship in Portland, Oregon, is if you do it with homegrown talent. And how long are you going to wait and for Portland to rebuild with homegrown talent? And if you're Damian Lillard, you can wait forever because Damian Lillard have his roots sown. The only place that I think Dame would leave Portland, Oregon for to win a championship is Oakland, California.
Right.
And you know what? They have an all-time great point guard right now.
I was going to ask you, Freezy, if you were replaced at the same time, same ages, Dame Lillard for Stephen Curry, do they win the same titles?
No.
Okay.
No. Steph Curry is built different, bro. Steph Curry has that Larry Bird type thing in him. Right?
Clutch.
Yeah, Steph Curry has that. And just because you can score a lot doesn't mean, like for instance, who's better, Dominique Wilkins or LeBron James? That's easy.
Right.
That's easy. Dominique Wilkins was a scoring machine in his prime, bro. Like I think they have him listed at 25 points a game, but Dominique Wilkins in his prime was 30 points a game in an era.
Plus.
In an era where your best scorer was only averaging like 21 a game.
I was going to say, Freezy, well, like for instance, Paul, like I mentioned Paul George earlier, he was pretty realistic and basically said, like he knows that in order to win a title, he's not going to be the number one guy. And I don't think Dame is realistic about his own skill set and trajectory or imprint on the game in terms of winning. I think he truly believes he's the number one on a some sort of perfectly built basketball team, which will never happen in Portland.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna happen. That's why he ain't going nowhere, bro.
Yeah, he's not going.
Nah, he's not going nowhere.
There's someone else though
I think he has the ego where he doesn't want to be a number 2 to anybody. That's the thing. He doesn't want to. He does not want to.
Who would he be
on a team when he's not the number 1? I mean, to a bona fide superstar, a megastar.
I don't know who would Dame. Who would Dame be? I don't know if there's a guy out there better than Dame that's worth you giving up enough assets to get him. Remember, you got to trade for Dame, right?
Oh yeah.
You have to trade for Dame.
He's gonna make $60 million a year.
Yeah,
a year from now.
Yeah, he's gonna get paid number 1 money. He's gonna get paid number 1 money, and then in order for you to take on that number 1 money contract, you're gonna have to trade the whole kids and So is a Dame Lillard trade to Sacramento really worth it? Nah, I'm good with Fox.
Man, he needed.
It's just too much.
I would love to see what an inside outside game would look like between him and Giannis on the same team.
but you saw that already with a LaMarcus Aldridge in his prime. Not totally Giannis, but LaMarcus Aldridge in his prime.
Don't do that, Freezy. Nah, don't do that. Hey, LaMarcus Aldridge ain't half of Giannis. He ain't half of Giannis.
No. You said inside outside game.
Right.
You said
I'm talking about a generational threat in the paint.
Again, if Giannis is making 60 and Dame is making 60 and the cap is 120, who are you gonna have on the team with them?
Cap. I mean, by the time that would happen, the cap would be like 145ish, but still, that would be a terribly constructed.
Yeah, so you have 10 spots to fill with $25 million.
A bunch of that's what the Miami Heat did.
Better than minimum.
Yeah, because I'm not disputing what you're saying. I mean, I agree with you. I'm
saying I would love to see it from a basketball standpoint point of view, but from a money point of view, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Right. So what I'm getting at is I don't think he's leaving for a multitude of reasons. For one, I think the dude got married last year or the year before last.
Yeah, so yeah.
Like laying down roots in Portland. They do stuff in the community there. I don't see. And then plus, unlike New York, the media in some of these cities is extra kind.
Cupcake. They don't ask you no hard questions.
You're right.
He's like, hey, Dame, you scored 40 with 0 assists tonight, which he did last night. What do you think you could have done better? They would never ask him anything like that.
They're like, Dame, why your team keep losing?
Like, Dame, why you get 40 and you have no assists? Is it a problem that you can't make your teammates better? That's the type of question that Berman would ask.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
They're not asking that important.
I mean, think about Bradley Beal. Why would Bradley Beal stay in DC? What does DC have to offer Bradley Beal except cash money?
That's someone who doesn't want to win.
Freezy, I saw Bradley Beal said in a quote, he said, it's nice that the organization, loyalty means a lot. And that's also a thing. But if the organization isn't loyal to me, then he's kind of setting out feelers where he might ask out, because this is what Bradley Beal did, which is what a lot of the rookie scale wage guys come in. They don't say anything until they get that super max, that big max contract. They get it. Then you start hearing the murmurs that they don't want to be there and this, that, and the third. They lock in that generational bread first. They get that up out the way. Then they start imposing their will in terms of politics and swaying guys. Because, he basically put a no trade clause in his deal. And he's the only player with a no trade clause.
Right.
So you best believe he's going to use that or leverage that.
Yeah.
He held that franchise hostage.
And quite frankly, they deserve to be held hostage. You know why? Because at the NBA draft, they constantly take the same type of player.
A 6'7" small forward with limited upside that can play defense a little bit.
Right. Right. And they've been doing it ever since Chris Singleton. Remember Chris Singleton out of Florida State? No, y'all don't. Y'all don't remember
Jan Vesely?
Jan Vesely. Yeah, I used to ball on 2K with him.
Jan Vesely.
I used to get him on 2K, bro. Yeah. I used to ball on 2K with him, bro.
Otto Porter.
You know what I'm saying?
Kelly Oubre.
And so so you see the same thing going on in places like Atlanta, right? In places like Atlanta, where Trae Young is on his third coach in what, 6 seasons?
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Yo, bring in my man DeJounte Murray, and then they get there and find out they can't play together.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Right.
But I also saw this other clip where Gilbert Arenas basically gave you what ownership thinks on teams, and ownership is like the thing that they weigh is this is the hypothetical scenario that they weigh in ownership. Good teams, you have to spend money on them, right? Would you rather have $2 billion in 10 years or $500 million in 10 years and you have 5 rings? And then when you break it out plainly in terms of what in terms of a business model, because if you're not in a super huge market, you winning rings doesn't drastically alter your value or your franchise. Like the Bucks.
Yeah, but a lot of owners know they're not making a lot of money off owning the teams. They just do it.
If they don't spend on the players, they definitely make a lot of profit. If they don't spend, like if you look at OKC and they're barely hitting the cap floor, like teams like that, if they don't spend, they maximize how much money they get out of the team. And some owners generally just care about maximizing money. If you look at the Oakland A's, for example.
It's Dre. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna go back and revisionist in the back. You know, Chicago Bulls wasn't considered a landmark team before Michael Jordan got there and started winning. Do you understand that? They were considered a small market team.
Say it again.
As well, the Chicago Bulls.
Right.
Because what you just said about.
Chicago isn't what it is right now.
No. Hold on a second, bro. What I'm trying to explain to you is before what ownership did was they invested in Michael Jordan and got the right pieces around him as well as the coaching staff to build that team and got 5-6 rings up out of that situation. And now it raised the level of the ownership of what the team value is. For another example is the Golden State Warriors. These are all, even though they're all in certain parts of the United States, compared to New York and LA and Boston, these are considered small market teams. Okay. And winning did that for them.
Right.
But you got to take into account.
Boston is not a big market, but it's a powerful market. Right. Milwaukee, market. Wisconsin is not a big market, but it's a powerful market when you tap into it. You know what I'm saying? Now, you want to talk about big markets that's big and powerful? Toronto, Ontario, Canada. They're the only game in town, only Canadian team.
So they represent a whole nation.
Yes. It takes a nation of millions to hold them back. That's a PE reference for those. That's a Public Enemy reference.
I'm saying, like, while we might, like, if we owned the team, we would run it trying to win, right? But these guys in suits that have all these analytical departments. You run it to make that money. I know you about that money, but I know some people.
Bread, bro. The only difference the only thing that I would do different than Dolan, the only difference that I would do than what Dolan is doing is I would be out front more, talking to fans face to face. Now, maybe I'm more charismatic than Dolan. That might be the case. Like some people
They're
have,
kissing the babies. Please.
yeah, you shake your hands and all that stuff. So like I'd be out there buying the vendors that work in the garden, they pay the garden a percentage, but they make bread off that. So I'd be buying hot dogs and all that stuff from them. Yo, Lee, you done been to Charlotte. You've been to you've been to Atlanta, right? To
Of course.
Whatever it is. You know, when you go in there, the name at these concession stands are the name of companies. It does not say New York Knicks hot dogs. These are companies that come in there. They rent that space. They pay that bread to Dolan. You know what I'm saying? They have contracts with Dolan. I'll be at those places. I'll be buying hot dogs. I see Dre and his family. I'm like, hey, Dre, listen. Get whatever you and your family want or whatever. It's on me. And I'll just walk off. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I don't think Dolan does enough of that. I don't think Dolan understands the city at a city level. I think he understands the city and at a global level. Right, but I like legit. I could see Billy Joel walking into Dolan's suite at before the concert and be like, "Hey man, hey Jimmy, how you doing? You want to play guitar with me tonight?"
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can see.
I'm saying like Freezy, if he were to do it, you could tell it's fraudulent. Like, oh boy, that's the mayor in New York now, Adams. Like you could tell it wouldn't come off genuine if Dolan were to do something like that. I don't think that's in his personality to be that type of guy.
Right. Whereas Steve Cohen of the Mets, you kind of get a sense that he's for the people, even though he might be the second richest person in the city. You know what I'm saying?
He's the second richest person in American sports, period. The only owner that has more money than him is Steve Ballmer.
Ballmer, yeah. Yeah, and Ballmer bought the Forum from Dolan. Did y'all know that?
Yep. He's gonna tear down and build his own arena over there.
Yep. Where the Lakers used to play at, James Dolan owned that. It's to tell you how slick Dolan is with the bread thing, bro. He owned the place where the Lakers played at.
Well. To be fair, James Dolan's dad got that all in motion. James Dolan just inherited that, and then he kept it going.
Yo, hey, Keith Turner, I didn't know you was in. Get out of here! Are you serious? I ain't know that. I ain't gonna ask you where. I ain't gonna ask you where you live at. I ain't trying to put your personal information out there and all of that stuff. But all I'm gonna say is I used to live down there too. That's all. I used to live. Lee.
What?
Lee. Keith Turner is in Louisiana.
Oh, get the hell out of here! I know exactly what you're talking about. Get out of here!
I used to live. All I'm gonna say is I used to live down there too. I lived down there for a couple years.
I used to go frequent that place at least twice a year. Where he at?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Thanks,
man.
Uncle Sam. Wow.
Thanks, Uncle Sam. Thanks, Uncle Sam. Yeah, man.
Wow.
I love. A lady told me one time, she was like, "Hey, come see." I was like, "What's she saying?" What? Hey, come see. What? Come see. What?
Speaking that Creole, that patois.
I don't know what she's saying, but I like it. But anyway, that was like 30, 35 years ago. But anyway, Dre, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying about the Knicks and to build the championship and all this. But Dre, what I'm saying to you is, if I were the team president, saying what I just said to you for like an hour or so, yes, I would take risks that other team presidents would not take, and I would gamble my 5 years until something hit or I moved on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is the Golden State Warriors were drafting every year. They were drafting every year. And they didn't need another guard. They didn't need another 6'3" guard when they drafted Steph Curry. They already had Monte Ellis.
They saw what they liked, though.
Right. But they were like, yo, if the Knicks are so hot and heavy after this guy, then maybe we should take him.
And that's what messed us up.
Yeah, because ultimately their backcourt should have been Monte Ellis and DeMar DeRozan. That should have been Golden State's backcourt.
Oh,
right?
My God. Two guys that can't shoot threes.
Right, but we were not in a 3-point era.
Not like
Curry
today.
Created the 3-point era, bro.
Right.
Think about they couldn't shoot threes, but man, could they score? It would have been like it would have been like Steve Francis and Tracy McGrady together. But man, could they score? You know what I'm saying?
Or the reinvention of the Run TMC.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Man.
I would gamble, bro. The first thing I would have did is in that draft. If I'm in that Steph Curry draft, I'm trading up to the 2 pick, right? Because at the time, so I don't like jumbo guards, right? So when I used to see James Harden at Arizona State, he didn't impress me. I thought, well, he's not athletic. You know what I'm saying? He's not a leaper. He's not a hyper athlete. He's not Vince Carter. His handles are spotty. Like they look elite sometimes and they look weak sometimes. I'm talking about in college, not in the pros.
Right. Well,
you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking, can he create his own shot? He's a shooter with some handle. Like nobody knew at the time he was going to be that. The most impressive guy coming out in that draft, Blake Griffin, and then the other most impressive person was a guy out of Memphis.
Blake, wait. Blake was in Curry's draft?
Yes.
He was the number one pick.
Was he in that draft? Oh, let me see. Let me
I thought he was the year after. I believe he was the year after.
Was he the year after? Who's the number one pick in that draft, the Steph Curry draft?
Oh, man.
Alexa, who was the number one pick in the Steph Curry draft?
Stephen Curry was drafted in the first round, 7 overall by the Golden State Warriors in 2009.
Oh, my.
Yeah,
Alexa,
same draft.
Already.
Yeah, it was the same draft.
Same draft, yeah. Blake was number one.
You know why I thought about it? Because Blake missed his first year and he played the next year.
Yeah.
Right. That's why I'm like thinking about it. Which is kind of funny because he kind of stole Rookie of the Year from Landry Fields on the low.
Yeah.
Yeah, you funny.
Right, but you see what I'm talking about, right? Like I'm moving up in that draft. Not even for Johnny Flynn or Ricky Rubio, because Ricky Rubio had the Giannis hype.
Oh, he did. They thought he was Pete Maravich. Euro Pete Maravich.
Yeah, he had some real hype.
Yeah, man. He had that Giannis hype, the grainy footage. Remember all the grainy footage from overseas or whatever? Tyreek Evans.
And there was years of hype.
If Ricky Rubio was actually as advertised, Luka Doncic would have went number one in his draft.
Right. Yeah.
Instead of 3 or whatever he went at. Was it 3 or 4? One of them.
Tyreek Evans was nice too before he got injured.
Before Keith Smart ruined him.
Yeah, that too.
Keith Smart completely ruined him.
But hey, Wayne Ellington was in that draft too.
Oh God.
Pat Bev was in that draft. Patty Mills was in that draft. But listen, if you're the Knicks and you're waiting there at 8 for Steph Curry to fall to you, why not just trade like 3 second round picks to move up to get Steph Curry? Right? I understand if you're the Knicks, right? Like, I like Steph, but I can wait because I really like DeMar DeRozan. His profile was Kobe-esque, right? I'm talking about at the same age, 19 years old. Superior athlete, high flyer, all the things. Like in my mind, when Toronto saw DeMar DeRozan, they saw Vince Carter. That's what
2.0.
But guess what we did, though? We panicked and took Jordan Hill.
And Jordan Hill didn't play a full season with the Knicks.
Who was our point guard in 2009, man?
Steph
Exactly.
Marbury.
Drafted Tony Douglas that year too.
Well, when you can't remember, exactly. That's the problem.
I thought we traded for Tony Douglas. We traded for Tony Douglas, bro. Yeah, the Lakers drafted him, and we traded for the rights. Yeah, you're right. It's the same thing. You're right.
Essentially,
you're right.
yeah.
It's the same thing.
I'm about to tell you right now. The wow, Chris Duhon was our starting point guard.
Oh, my bad.
Tony Douglas was the first guard off the bench.
Oh my God,
Jesus.
He also had Al Buckets off the bench.
Came a long way.
We traded for Tracy McGrady mid-season.
Yeah.
Oh wait, they got Billy Walker. Remember
Bill
him?
Walker? Yeah, I like him.
But on Basketball Reference, they refer to him as Henry Walker.
Henry, yeah, from Kansas State. I think he was there with Michael Beasley, right?
Yeah, he's not good enough to get his nickname acknowledged on Basketball Reference. Damn shit.
Wow. Yeah, man, but yeah. So Dre, what I'm getting at, man, is in order to win at this thing, bro, you gotta be willing to take risks. Golden State gambled for 5 straight years, and they kept missing, right? And then they hit
for the downside.
Yep, they hit with Steph Curry, and nobody remembers Anthony Randolph.
You know what's funny? That whole logic can be applied to the NFL as well, because if you recall, the Rams gave up the house just to draft that quarterback that they eventually traded.
Yep, Jared Goff.
And they sold everything for him, realized it didn't work, and then they swung a deal for a journeyman vet, and they took the risk.
Yep.
And it paid off, and they won the championship. Now, a conservative team would be like, we spent three draft picks on this guy. We got to see it through, man.
Yeah. And so if you're the Knicks, even right now, right? If you're the Knicks, and say our dreams come true, and we beat Cleveland in the first round, right? And then we face off against a 76ers team, right? Because I'm thinking, or say we face the Celtics, and the NBA would not let us beat the Celtics in a million years, right? That's not happening, right? But say the final four in the East. The final four in the East is the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Knicks, the 1-4 matchup, and a 2-3 matchup is Boston versus Philly. Right? And that matchup, do I like my chances against the Bucks? No. Right? But say, we mess around, we do what we can with the Bucks, they beat us 4-2. Right? Say we go up 2-0 on the Bucks, and then the Bucks just win 4 in a row. Right? I would like that very much. If we're going to win 2 games, let me win the first 2. Let me get my hopes up. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't think that's going to happen because it's going to be on the road. So if we win the first 2 and get 4-0 after that, that's embarrassing.
So, but now,
I think the only time that happened was Hakeem. Hakeem went down 0-2 in the playoffs, 2 home games, and then they won the next 4. I think against the Spurs,
against the Phoenix Suns, right?
Oh, the Suns, yeah.
Yeah, but my point is this summer though, Dre. My point is this summer, what I would do is trim the fat around the roster. Where can I improve? Who can I trade to upgrade? Right. I'm taking a gamble. I'm taking the biggest gamble ever known to man to move up to try to get Scoot Henderson.
Wow.
Right. And I know people, Scoot Henderson, you already got. Man, listen, man. I understand. I like Brunson. I like Brunson. But if you tell me, and I know this is a pipe dream, right? But what I'm saying is if I could start Scoot and Jalen Brunson together, bring Grimes off the bench, or put Grimes in the trade, whatever. If I can improve that way, bro, I'm swinging for the. You hear me? I'm swinging for the fences.
What about this one, Freezy? I was gonna make another suggestion. You know, when the Sixers inevitably get bounced in the playoffs, you know, Doyle's gonna ask for a trade. You know that, right?
Okay.
Would you entertain that?
No.
No.
Ooh, you wouldn't entertain Joel Embiid?
Nope. He's not a winner.
No, and not because of, and not be, but Dre, not because of that. Because I understand, because it'd be box office, it'd be headlines.
That's a risk, though.
But I'm taking a Kobe Bryant-esque risk, right? I'm trying to trade for a Kobe type, not just a very good big man in his era, right? Like, is Joel Embiid a top 10 center all time?
No,
maybe not. Right?
Not yet. Not yet, at least.
Right. He probably got a ways to go. He might wind up being there, right? But what I'm saying is the Boston Celtics had veterans all around Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. They even had Kyrie once. They had Isaiah Thomas in the MVP talk, right? But you know what they did? They doubled down on Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, bro. They even added Kemba. You know what I'm saying?
But the risk to get to Kyrie, and when they asked Danny Ainge about it after, he said, "I would have done it all over again anyway." Knowing what I knew.
I like this team for what it is right now, but I understand though the teams that make the biggest risk are the teams that get the biggest reward.
Right.
Yep. It's facts.
You know what I'm saying? I know that sounds shaky.
This is the thing. Like, when we talk about how things are optics and politically driven in the NBA, sometimes the Knicks are afraid of being looked at as the laughing stock, so we make the safe move.
I understand that. That's been the motto for the last ever since Phil Jackson got here. That's been the motto. Be safe.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do nothing ridiculous. Right? But the thing about it is the Knicks have taken risks the opposite way. The Knicks were like, well, I'm gonna trade this young big named Nene Hilario and a first for Antonio McDyess.
Oh wow. My God. Microfracture
right?
McDyess.
Yeah. And so at the time, what we should have been thinking is, what would it take for us to get Steve Nash and Michael Finley? That's what we should have been thinking. But we don't think like that, bro. We thinking like, look, like Dre, I say this often in 83, right? In 83, right? Oh man.
Like you said, Freezy, the Knicks aren't the team that sets the trends into how the NBA looks.
Right.
We're usually late to the party. And then
very late to the party.
Then we try to co-opt whatever is working at that time.
Yo, and I'm saying this summer, Dre, when you have assets and young players, and I like our young players, by the way, but if you tell me that I can swap 2 or 3 of those young players who I love for a generational type potential talent, I think I gotta do it, bro. Even if if you're telling me that I can swap quickly RJ Grimes and some picks for a Anthony Edwards type of player.
Oh my God.
Bro, I gotta look at it, man. I got to.
Oh, for sure. Matter of fact, Freezy, I'm not gonna hold you. I would give up more for Anthony Edwards than whatever was up for Donovan Mitchell with ease, without blinking.
Right, and I'm not saying that our team is bad or our players aren't, and I'm also not saying that I'm not enjoying the ride, because I am, and I'm not blaming the organization for being inept. Everything right now feels right to me, according to where we come from. Right, but understanding though, the difference between the Portland Trailblazers and the Golden State Warriors are the Golden State Warriors take risks.
Right. Or they weigh all their options, because, like, for instance, the Portland Trailblazers decided to trade CJ McCollum damn near after 10 years of knowing it wasn't going to work.
Right. Because him and Dame were friends.
Meanwhile, the Warriors were ready to give up Klay Thompson. They were thinking about it.
For Kevin Love. Yeah.
They were thinking about it. Like, they were constantly on the swivel. And which is why I give, like what's his name? Bob Myers needs to be paid the most money out of any front office guy in the entire NBA by a wide margin, because they're always gauging opportunities to get better.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Look at any team that has won a championship, right? And then compare their big, bold moves to the Knicks' big, bold moves. or the team, or for instance,
I'm saying like, okay, Freezy, go ahead.
Go ahead, boss.
I was gonna say, even our two best players, the two best players we have on this team are safe picks. Like,
and I like them.
Very good players too. Yeah. And Randall, we developed Randall, but he was also a very safe choice at the time.
Right.
Because we never really were out there for the megastar.
And Randall's an all-star right now.
Right. And RJ was the safe pick at number 3.
Right.
If we're keeping it a buck. A lot of our players fit a defined role in terms of who they are, who they can be in this league. Like Grimes and IQ, and while very impactful, very effective,
right?
I don't think they possess superstar talent.
Right. Nah. And so, and my thing to it is I understand RJ Barrett was the safe pick. There wasn't a gamble that you could have taken. You could have traded back with Atlanta, give Atlanta the 4 pick give Atlanta the 3 pick for the 4 and 10, and then you could have taken DeAndre Hunter and Cam Reddish and let them have RJ. I mean, there's a number of things you could have did revisionist history. You know what I'm saying? You could have. There's a lot. You could have taken Darius Garland with the 4 pick and then taken Jackson. There's a lot. What I'm saying is, so in the big picture, in the grand scheme of things, the teams that gamble the most are rewarded the most.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like for instance, that Detroit Pistons team that people like to refer to a lot.
About, yeah.
Yeah, they
gambled
the Indiana
on
pick.
Bringing in the hothead.
Yep.
What's his name? God damn it, slipping on my mind. Rasheed Wallace. That was considered a gamble. And he was the ultimate last piece, the cherry on top that helped
the finisher.
Yep.
Do you think this front office is afraid to make that move?
Yes.
Really?
I
don't really think so. I mean, they were pretty quick to give up RJ last year.
But they didn't, though.
Yeah, but that's because
they
didn't want to get fleeced and etc. Yeah, I get that.
Which is the big move. The risky move is to give up whatever Danny Ainge was asking for.
Right. And Keyshawn, you know what? The Knicks were afraid to gamble the rent money when if they won, they could have purchased the entire block. But they were like, I don't want to go home and tell my girl that I gambled the rent money away.
Yeah, I agree.
I
think they wanted a more I think they wanted a more like stable foundation before they take that actual like leap forward.
But
I think with Brunson and addition and Hart, I think they're more like a stable foundation for someone to come in. And
there's nothing wrong with that either, Keith. There's nothing wrong with that. But then look at our division. Do the teams in our division play it safe?
No.
Any of them. Just pick a random team. Pick a random team in our division and then ask if they play it safe.
Nope. You saw what the Raptors did to DeRozan. They got him out of there.
And Valanciunas. DeRozan and Valanciunas.
Got them out. Matter of fact, they did it. They got Pirtle up out of there too.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then they brought him back. But still, they got him up.
They brought him back. Yeah.
They got everybody up out of there to facilitate that Kawhi move,
Right.
even if it was
Right.
for rental, but it paid off. They got a
Would
championship.
Philly trade? Would Philly do a blockbuster?
Absolutely, they just
Well, of
did for
course.
Harden because
Right.
they had to change it up
Cleveland
because
just
they
did a
had to.
blockbuster.
Right.
Everyone's doing it.
Will Boston do a blockbuster move?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Most definitely.
Will Brooklyn do a blockbuster move?
They have
Yo, Brooklyn and Philly did one
Twice.
inside the division.
Oh, so Brooklyn did it twice in the division.
Yeah.
If you calling a spade, the Cavs did it with Kyrie in their conference rival that was like a 1-2 seed the year before.
Right.
Yeah,
But the Knicks won't do it. And listen, I'm not calling anybody inept, and I'm not saying that I'm not enjoying the ride, because I am enjoying the ride. Right. But based on the conversation, based on the talking point that we were referencing Damian Lillard, Damian Lillard is not winning the championship in Portland, and he's not leaving, and the team's not going to pay all of that. They're not going to give up 5 first-round picks and 3 young guys to take on $60 million in salary.
Dame is going to take the same trajectory as Clyde Drexler, waste the vast majority of his prime,
right?
Not really doing nothing, putting up some numbers,
and then win a championship in Houston.
And be like, and like he could only hope for that, but he's gonna be. If you actually think about it, his career like mirrors Clyde Drexler a lot, like being viewed as the second best point guard behind Steph being the Michael Jordan.
Right.
to Clyde's Jordan.
Right. Yeah.
Just always being so close, but not as good.
So close and so yet far at the same time. But yeah, man. And Dre, listen, I ain't gonna lie to you, right? Julius Randle to me is one of my favorite Knicks I've watched in a very long time. Mm-hmm. Him and Brunson together. It's the first time I got to watch 2 great Knicks play on the floor at the same time
at a high level.
I hadn't seen that since the 70s. 2 great Knicks at the same time. Think about that. If you're a young fan, you ain't never seen no shit like this before.
Yeah, not two guys scoring 20 points per game at the same time, like mid 20s, not low 20s, not barely getting the 20 points per game. We're talking about 2 guys that's putting up 25 every night.
Right. You ain't never seen that like this. If you're a Knicks fan that's under 45, you ain't never seen that like this before, bro. Hey, Lee, did I say young Knicks fan under 45?
Yeah. I guess I'm a young Knicks fan.
But you ain't never, if you're a young Knicks fan, you ain't never seen anything quite like this. That's why it's like, yo, you should enjoy the ride, right? And ultimately, what I'm saying is I'm enjoying the ride. Even somebody in my early 50s, I like to say early, you know what I'm saying? And somebody in my early 50s, you know what I'm saying? That this right here is new to me also, and I'm just trying to enjoy it. But I do understand that when the Lakers won championships in the 80s, they were trading for guys like Bob McAdoo. They were drafting James Worthies. They were trading for the number 1 pick so they can have impact. Same thing with Boston. Boston was, Dennis Johnson won a championship with Seattle before he won a championship with Boston.
They had Hall of Famers coming off their bench, man.
Yeah, Dennis Johnson. Yeah, Lee might not. Well, Lee, you may not remember.
What?
But you remember Seattle had downtown Freddie Brown.
Yep.
All of them. Yeah. You know, Seattle used to keep talent.
You talking about what's my man? Lenny Wilkins. Lenny Wilkins built that team.
Wilkins, yeah. You know who used to coach you know who their head coach and assistant was for a stretch in the 70s? Their head coach was Bill Russell, and the assistant coach was Willis Reed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Soak that up.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, but ultimately, what I'm getting at is if the Knicks are to turn this corner, they're gonna have to take a blind gamble They're gonna have to go for it. They're gonna have to go. They're gonna have to do a 10 for 200.
2 for 200.
Yeah. For the it's Dre. You play spades, bro?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't hear what you said. I didn't hear the first part.
Yeah. The Knicks gonna have to do a 10 for 200. You know what I'm saying?
Boy, I thought you said Ben for 200. I was like, what?
No. No. I'm talking about they're gonna have to go a double blind, six for 120, a 10 for 200. They're gonna have to do that type
wheels. Look for some wheels.
Yeah, they gotta do that to turn the corner because unless they do that, we don't foresee. We think Brunson can get better, but we don't see Brunson being a 32 point per game scorer in the NBA for the rest of his career. Right? We don't think Randall is gonna be 28 points per game going forward. Right?
They're kind of infringing on their prime right now. Like they're entering.
But that's still high level though.
Oh yeah, for sure. But like when you compare him to the Jason Tatum's, who's 24, averaging 30, it's a little bit different.
And so I don't want to create bad juju or mojo or anything like that. Like talk up a bad situation or make it seem like I'm not grateful for what I'm getting because I am grateful for what I'm getting. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm very excited about this Knicks team right now. Very. Right. But my thing is ultimately bro, you can't. Let's see how far this goes and hope that fate and destiny gives us something fortunate.
I think we're gonna strike while the iron is hot. If it's not this summer, it's gonna be the summer after, where a superstar asks out, and it might be a situation where the superstar may not necessarily mesh with Randall or Brunson, and we'd have to get rid of one of them. But it ultimately would have to be the move that would put us over the top. That, like, a lot of the times, like if you look at the DeRozan deal, he was the number one scorer in that franchise's history, and I'm sure nobody in Toronto wanted to trade him. But in order to make the superstar fit, like a Kawhi Leonard type deal, that may need to happen along the line, somewhere down the line. Now, I think Brunson and Randall are someone you can win a championship with if you bring someone between them that's better than the both of them.
Right.
But sometimes fits are just a thing. Sometimes you might have to remove, like hypothetically speaking, Embiid and Julius Randle probably aren't the best fit together on the court from a logistical standpoint. Maybe they can work, but that's like a hypothetical. So like when I'm assessing how the Knicks can get closer to winning a title, anybody on this roster can go at a moment's notice if it gets us closer to ultimately winning a title in a large way.
I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I'm super excited where we at.
Yeah. The situation we're in, outside of the like obvious contenders like the Bucks and the Bostons and the Nuggets, like teams that have MVP contenders on them.
Right.
We're probably right there in terms of best situations, like right after them.
Right. Is where we are right now sustainable?
Well, what do you consider sustainable?
You said I think your answer is yes, because earlier you said next year you can see this team winning 55 games.
Yeah, but sustainable means we win 50 games every year for the next 7 years.
No, not 7 years. No, sustainable. In my mind, I think about presidential terms. I think about I think in terms of like fours, bro. Like in terms of this being sustainable. Now that this window was open, can we keep it open at this level for the next 4 years?
I believe so. Hypothetically, if we kept the same roster and didn't make any moves, we would perpetually be a second round, and if things break right, an Eastern Conference type team, Eastern Conference Finals type team. If the young players on the team continue to grow and be more efficient in their role, and the chemistry becomes chemistry, and you might get lucky, and Giannis might have a sprained ankle, he can't play or something like that. Like things like that have to break for every championship team. It seems an injury had to break right for them because
there's always that luck factor.
Because if Middleton didn't get hurt against the Bucks are the champions, and the Warriors do not win that title, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, probably.
I think the Warriors were going to win it regardless, but I
don't think they had any answer for Giannis, man. Like at all. There's nothing they could do. They mitigated the Boston Celtics' number one option. There's no mitigating.
No, I think they would have swept the Bucks off the floor, ran them out the door.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, and the reason why I say that is because not only would it's I like to say the only built for Cuban links thing. Right, but the thing is with that series, you can't think about how great Giannis is. You got to think about what the Golden State Warriors were loaded up with to defend, to win that championship. Right, if you telling me that Jrue Holiday would have locked down Steph after what I saw him do to Marcus Smart, no,
yeah, there's no such thing as locking up, but.
Right, and if you tell
Steph was gonna get his regardless. Steph is generational. Steph is one of a kind. He is amazing, and I feel like Giannis is just as amazing in his own right.
No,
I feel like
it would have been a great series. That's all.
I think they would have embarrassed Milwaukee so bad, and Giannis would have been out there crying with all his 52,000 brothers. all Giannis brothers, all 9 of them would have been out there crying with Giannis, and as they would have been winding down, they'd have been down by 25 in the fourth quarter, and Giannis would have been out there crying because he knew he lost.
Hey man, you know how like sometimes a guy wins a championship and they have like the post-championship glow, and they just play at another level. Like Giannis was absolutely balling against the Celtics without his number 2.
Right.
And the Celtics had the number 1 defense in basketball.
Celtics got lucky because they got past Brooklyn. I mean, without Kyrie, right?
They got past. Notice he didn't say whooped. He said they got past.
Because KD was giving them the business by himself.
It was 4-0 though. 4-0.
But we know why.
2 of those games were close.
A foot.
They got Milwaukee. Like
a footstep.
Oh, you talking about the Milwaukee? You're talking about the Bucks Nets series? That's what you're talking about, or you're talking about the Celtics Nets series?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they had so many dudes to throw at Giannis, bro. The Warriors off their bench, they had so many dudes. They wasn't even playing the dudes. Just the defense they put on Jason Tatum alone shows you they had that and more that they could have thrown at Giannis, who doesn't have a Jaylen Brown.
But the thing is, Giannis' mentality is different.
Giannis embraces the physicality. Yeah, Tatum shied away from that physicality.
Yeah.
Right. No, I get it. But no.
Like if you get physical with Giannis, like the Suns put up a wall against Giannis the entire time, and he dropped 50, 17 out of 18 from the free throw line.
Yeah, I know. I understand where you're going. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the Warriors were built different.
Okay.
Right? The Warriors were gonna throw out everything in the arsenal. They was gonna throw out Draymond Green, Kevon Looney, Otto Porter, Andrew Wiggins. Man, did you see Andrew Wiggins' defense in the finals on Tatum?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Tatum in, but Giannis is putting Wiggins in the rim. I'm not gonna hold you for you. Giannis is putting Wiggins in the rim.
He
Like,
too
niggas will
light
have
to
his
take.
moments,
He
but
too light to ask for. He too light to ask for Giannis, man.
I can only imagine Giannis crying during the finals. I'm not getting any calls.
nah,
Right?
he's
'Cause
not.
you are on the floor with Steph Curry, bro. You not getting calls. You on the floor with Steph Curry. You not on the floor. You not on the floor with Chris Paul, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're not on the floor with Kyrie. You on the floor with Steph Curry.
Nah, Giannis not the type to do that though. Like KD would do that. James Harden would do that. Giannis is not that type to be crying. But he'll just get more aggressive.
Giannis doesn't cry for calls, bro. Is what you're saying?
Not all the time.
Every superstar begs for calls, but compared to like outside of like maybe Jokic, he probably complains the least out of everyone. Him and Steph, those two don't really cry about calls like that.
I think Giannis cries more than Randall.
But Giannis also has like the most physical game in the entire NBA. So anything he does could be.
Hold on a second. Yeah, you trying to say that? I don't know, because Wichita has a physical game too. Now you talking about Julius Randle? Randle?
Yeah, Randall. But Randall also settles for a lot more jumpers than.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Touche.
Julius Randle will put up about 6 or 7 threes a game. Giannis is going to put up
especially out the gate, especially at the start of the game.
Yeah. Giannis will put up.
He coming out the tunnel firing.
Yeah. Well, he leads the league in first quarter of 3-pointers.
Yeah, I think he's got 90 or something.
Something like that. It's crazy. It's something crazy. Like you, like, whoa, for real.
Yeah.
And then he settles for his mid range, and then in the latter quarters, his mid range and drive.
He changed his shot profile, so he doesn't take as many rear range shots. If you notice, compared to prior years, he takes 2 or 3 a game. Before he would take 6 or 7.
And it would frustrate you so bad, bro. It would make you want to just tear your eyebrows out. You know what I'm saying? You're like, Randall, come on, bro. This dude is 6'2". Why are you fading away at the free throw line? You know what I'm saying? Bro, the dude, Trae Young is on you and you fading away to 20 feet. But anyways, I got one more question for you, Dre, before I get out of here. Before we get Lee, I got one more before we get out of here, right?
All right.
Are you ready to extend this front office and coaching staff? Extensions.
I say front office, yes. Coaching staff.
4 more years. You ready for that?
I'm ready. I'm ready to give this
I give the front office
a 4 more year contract. Not
the coaching. I don't know. We got coaching provides their worth, or they earn their money in the playoffs for us.
Okay. All right.
Front office puts together a solid team, but where Tibbs will earn his money if he wants an extension is in the playoffs. If he goes to ECF, or we take one of these top 2 teams to like 6 or 7 games in the second round, then sure.
Yeah. Dre, I'm going to throw this out there, and it's going to make you laugh, but it's going to make some Knicks fans cry. I think Tibbs is going to be up for Coach of the Year. If the Knicks win 50 games, he is going to be up for Coach of the Year.
He's going to be a finalist. I don't know if he's going to win it, though.
Dre, hold on. Let me finish. Let me put my point out there before you counter it. Listen to like my. All right. So right now the Knicks are what, 37-27?
Yeah, 37,
something like that. If the Knicks finish this season 13-5, get to 50 or above wins after the way that the season started, there is no way, there is no coaching candidate in this NBA that you could say did a better job with their team taking less and getting more out of it than Tom Thibodeau.
I'm going to say Mike Brown.
The Celtics coach.
No.
Yeah, I was
Mike
gonna
Brown.
say Mike Brown, but Mike
Brown.
Brown, and then Mike Malone.
What was Sacramento record last year?
They were bad.
I
do
think
know
they
that
were
much.
just below the bubble. I think they were maybe like the 11th seed. I don't remember.
I'll tell you right now. They were 30 and 52, and now they have like at this current moment, when Mike Brown earned his name as a defensive coach, right now they have an all-time most efficient offense. Like,
why do we say Mike Brown is a defensive coach?
His prior years with Cleveland Cavaliers, where they constantly had a top 3 defense, though it was a terrible team, but they had a great defense.
I always knew that Mike Brown is an offensive coach that was put in a situation where he had to go defense because his offense was terrible.
But like when he went to the Lakers, their offense wasn't that necessarily that good, but they had a pretty good defense as soon as he got there.
Which Lakers run are you talking about? Are you talking about the Steve Nash, Dwight Howard, Kobe Bryant?
Yeah, that's
all them dudes washed up. Yeah, they
washed up, but they had a defense still. that offense was trash, though. Train wreck.
Yeah, I think because I watched the Mike Brown videos on YouTube, and he talks about that. And this is before he took the Sacramento job, by the way. I look at his offenses on YouTube, and he talk about this trident offense where every time you get it, you have 3 things to do while you're in motion, and you're like, "Yo, the fact that nobody is running this is crazy."
I think 6 years in Golden State kind of, made that happen for him.
Okay,
because that trident offense didn't exist when he first had LeBron. That's for damn sure.
No, because
that
LeBron
offense was trash.
But
it was LeBron, and that's it.
But I'm saying though, the trident calls for ball movement, and LeBron is
decision makers too.
and LeBron is a playmaker. You know what I'm saying? Ball dominant. So I mean, I get what you're saying. But even if that's still the case, before he took the Sacramento job, even with those 6 years of offensive experience at Golden State, that still means he's an offensive coach, right?
Yeah.
If he gleaned 6 years of experience from Steve Kerr and
a few other guys on that team. What's his name? Kenny Atkinson was also on that. I think they have the highest paid assistant coaches in the NBA in the last few years.
They used to. It used to be they do this year. The 2 years prior was the Knicks. The Knicks had Mike Woodson and Kenny Payne and
Johnny Bryant.
And Johnny Bryant. Yeah.
Like the whole reason I want to give Mike Brown credit in terms of Coach of the Year, because he kind of flipped the narrative on De'Aaron Fox and DeMontis.
Sabonis,
yeah, because we kind of thought De'Aaron, like the narrative on De'Aaron was that he just gets his number. He isn't necessarily a winning basketball player, but that's not true at all. He just wasn't utilized correctly or to his strengths. Like,
how about he's shooting 51.5% from the floor, and I don't think he's always been that.
He's always been very efficient, Freezy. That's one of the things. Like he shoots in there 50%, like not for his career, but the last few years. It's just he's never
47, 48, yeah.
It's just he's never had his skill set utilized as well as now. Because if you look at now, in the last month, he's shooting 90% at the rim or in the paint.
Wow.
Off of floaters and attacking the rim with his touch. And that has to do with the spacing created by pulling DeMontis Sabonis out of the paint and making him a playmaker and giving him space to do what he does.
Yo,
and
you know they run
before Mike Brown. Yeah.
Right, but they run hammer cuts and banana cuts on the same play, which is weird.
It's very weird.
Right. They run hammer cuts. Basically, we used to call it whams, like a big looking. You run a guard. You a guard slam into a big blindside, a big setting the screen, and then
it's
they
like
run
inverse screens. Yeah, it's just weird. It's weird, but it kind of sends defensive principles out of whack because you're not supposed to be
peeling off to check a guard if you're big.
And a big guy is not supposed to be moving with a head on a swivel. He's supposed to be doing that to other people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now Mitchell Robinson out here with his head on a swivel, like, I don't want to get screened out the blue. You know what I'm saying? And that's what guards and wings are used to. You know what I'm saying?
And even like Mitchell Robinson has God-given athletic ability where he can just spin off of a screen, but most bigs can't do that. They just get stuck.
They can't do that.
And they get chicken winged. And it's like, who's this little ass guard on me? Move.
and and when you get that done to you 200 times a game, bro,
it's one of the things that makes Stephen Curry so great because he says damn good screens about 700 times a game.
The same thing. Stockton
exactly. I was thinking that.
and when they set the screens, because they little guards, they get away with a little bit more elbow. They put the elbow and the shoulder up into your ribs. They give a little pounding to centers. And then
I saw Brunson do it the other day. I saw Brunson try to do a hammer screen. And you like, yeah, Brunson, this ain't for you right here, brother. Yeah, and it don't have nothing to do. It have nothing to do with size. It's the physicality of it. Like when you see number 15 for them, legit go screen Boban a hammer screen. I'm like,
what are you doing?
Yes, but he constantly do it now. Boban, like 8 foot tall, I hit with his head on the swivel.
And with his head on the swivel, now there's a backside action, and he can't even mind the cutter.
Backside action, the banana cut. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He can't even pay attention to the cutter because normally he'd be sagging back in a drop coverage or something, but he can't even do the drop coverage because his guard is out here trying to screen him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They did that to Nicholas Batum. You know, the Clippers run Batum as a small ball 5 sometimes, right?
Right.
So they run a hammer. This is the other day where they scored 1,000 points, right? I think I put the link to it in the chat. I don't know if you saw this or not.
You posted a YouTube link.
I put the link to the video in the or it's another one I meant to send you, right?
Right.
But now when you got bigs with their head on a swivel, bro, they can't just go intimidate and enforce the rim because they worry about their knees getting taken out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Yeah.
So, but like, I'm gonna keep it real with you, Freezy. If the Knicks win 50 games, then Tibbs got to be like top 2 in terms of coach of the year. Because I'm looking at the odds right now. I tell you the odds right now. Okay. I just had it up. Give me a second. NBA coach of the year odds according to Vegas. Mike Brown is 1. Joe Mazzulla is 2. Michael Malone is 3. Taylor Jenkins is 4. Budenholzer is 5. JB Bickerstaff is 6. Doc Rivers is 7. Doc Rivers, come on. Tom Thibodeau is 8. Jock Vaughn is 9.
I bet you Jock Vaughn was closer to 1. Jock Vaughn was closer to 1 than he is after the trade and all that stuff.
Oh yeah. After that 18-2 run, he was definitely like 1-2. But you also like Will Hardy was up there until the Jazz fell off a bit.
Right. And I don't believe in the Joe Mazzulla thing either, because you're not going to tell me 2 rookie coaches back to back are going to have this Celtics team be good if it's not the Celtics.
I want to say it's a little bit of both, because just looking at the way the Celtics play, their offense is completely different than that isolation ball dominant type thing that they ran last year. While it worked for them, their defense was a lot better because Robert Williams was healthy for the majority of that year.
But if Joe Mazzulla gets fired right now and they promote another assistant, will the Boston Celtics be a top three seed in the East next year with a rookie coach?
I believe so, yeah. But I feel like the difference in coaching changes your ceiling.
Right.
So like their offensive ceiling is a lot higher. Like in the playoffs, they're gonna find ways to make sure they get off a ton of threes and good open looks against teams.
Okay. So if Joe Mazzulla is a candidate for coach of the year, then I'm totally off of the Ime Udoka bandwagon. I think he's just a random.
I think Ime Udoka is overrated.
Right. Wow. So, Lee, you see how I'm you see where I'm equating this? It's either Ime Udoka was a pretty good coach and Joe Mazzulla inherited a good team, inherited a stacked team, or Missoula is a great coach and Ime Udoka he got lucky this one season. He was a flash in the pan. But if you say
Freezy, they were underachieving for a good chunk of the year until RJ hit that three off that glass.
For 25 games, yeah.
This year they played basically at even level the entire year, relatively.
Right.
As far as the Celtics, and they load manage some of their guys as well.
So I'm gonna say this though, just real quick about Tibbs. Tibbs not being in the top 5 of this thing totally is crazy.
I gotta check the odds. I gotta check the odds on the app right now because it's gotta change.
Yeah, because some of these guys, bro, the Grizzlies are winning with or without Jaren Jackson. They winning with or without John Morant. I think it's their roster. I don't necessarily know if it's the coach.
Well,
giving the coach credit for something.
I think they're well coached. I also think their main advantage, because they're not necessarily a great half court team, their advantage in a lot of those same ways we mirror the Grizzlies is they dominate the offensive glass, they dominate the rebounds, and when Steven Adams went down, that's when they started having hiccups in terms of winning and losing because they weren't dominating and getting extra possessions.
So baby Tibbs, you talking about Tibbs Jr., right? In Memphis, baby Tibbs. When their big went down, they started losing. When our big went down,
we were winning.
Well, they didn't lose, but they weren't at the same pace. They were treading water. They were playing a little bit above 500 ball.
I don't think we lost in well, I'm counting All-Star break, so I don't think we lost in like 3 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks then.
2 weeks. Two NBA weeks. Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But if I had to check the odds, like if it was up to me, I would put depending on how it shakes out at this current moment, I'd say Tibbs is maybe top 4. I would have him over Taylor Jenkins and Budenholzer. Yes. Now, Mike Malone, Joe Mazzulla, Mike Brown they're deserving because 2 of them are number 1 seeds or was number 1 seeds for the majority of the year.
Okay.
Like running well-oiled machines, even though they have MVP contenders. And Mike Brown took a 30 and 52 team last year, and they're 3rd seed in the West.
I can see Mike Brown beating out Tibbs for Coach of the Year if they win 50 games. If they don't win 50 games and Tibbs takes this team to 50, because in Sacramento, and listen, in Sacramento, California, you don't have and salute to Sacramento, salute to the Smoking Nick and everybody in the Sacktown, Stockton area, right? No disrespect to them because they fans crazy, bro. They like the big like you ever seen somebody
when they go to the playoffs? I want to watch that on TV because I know they're going crazy out there.
Crazy, bro. Crazy. What I was gonna say about them is they like the Bayhive. Like if you say anything bad about Beyonce on Twitter, like the Bayhive come after you, bro. It's crazy. You got to delete your account. That's how the Sacramento Kings are, bro. You say anything bad about them, bro.
You also got to take into account like Coach of the Year is narrative driven as well.
Yeah.
So the Kings not making the playoffs for 16 years, coming off a 52 loss season last year. Even if they win 48 games, hypothetically, they're probably going to lean towards Mike Brown. And there's fatigue for these things. They're not going to give Tibbs after 2 out of 3 years. They're not going to give Coach of the Year the same guy 2 out of 3 years.
Yeah, the Western Conference is down.
Yeah, it's down, but even if it was down,
and Tibbs is winning 50 games in a loaded Eastern Conference.
I'm saying though, Freezy, last year, if they had the same coaches last year, they would still not make the playoffs in the West.
Okay.
Like they were 30 and 52. Like that's really bad.
They were trash.
Yeah, that's really, really bad. So I'm not even gonna say, even in the down West, I'm not about to say they're gonna make the playoffs because like the teams in the play-in in the West are 500 playing 500 ball, and they were well beneath 500 last year.
Right, but Portland has been bad. The Lakers have been bad. New Orleans has been bad recently. I mean, there are some teams that have taken nosedives, bro.
But I can't hold that against them. It's still a number 3 seed in the West, and
I
that still
understand
has
that,
to
but
mean
they
something.
play against those teams though.
Right. It's narrative driven because for instance, not hypothetically, it did happen. When people thought the Suns coach deserved to win Coach of the Year
2 years ago.
Right. And would you have been mad if you won it over Tibbs? No.
Yeah, I'd have been kind of hot about that.
You would have been hot over that.
Yep. Yeah. And the reason
it won
being,
like 62. It won like 60 something games.
But
they
but
weren't
Dre,
really expected to be like a real contender that year.
But
like a title contender.
But it's not just about the wins and losses. It's about it's about getting more out of less. And Tibbs do that often, and he don't get credit for it. He does more. Like Sacramento's offense is amazing, right? But how about the Knicks offense the last 2 months? Amazing.
It just doesn't look pretty because we went off killing the glass, which is
Sacramento's doing it with threes and little guys dunking at the rim, and we do it with big bruising guys putting back missed shots.
We went in,
right.
nobody
want to see Mitchell Robinson pick a rebound up off the floor and dunk it over 2 people and then go to the free throw line and miss his free throw. Nobody want to see that.
Hey, look, man, I'm not about to lie to you. Nobody really wants to see Julius Randle barrel through defenders and score over the league average power forward because they're just too small for him.
Right, and nobody wants to see RJ Barrett go to the rim and finish over 3 people after RJ Barrett going to the rim is like falling out of the sky into a forest. Right, you just all the edges get.
We're gonna hit every branch
on the way down. Yeah, that's what RJ Barrett is like going to the rim. You know what I'm saying? And nobody wants to see that. They want to see Kyrie Irving with a beautiful finish at the rim where the big knows he has no chance. They want to see Luka mid fade away.
But I don't think anybody's ever won Coach of the Year 2 out of 3 years. So when we say like if it's about who's maximized the most, if Tibbs get 50 wins, I don't know if he's maximized the most because there are things I can complain about. But I think he should be in the conversation as like top 2 if he gets the 50 wins. I'm not gonna say Mike Brown is not deserving because the main the only thing they really changed on the Kings was bringing in Kevin Huerter, a lottery rookie kid that's inconsistent.
Keegan Murray, yeah.
And Malik Monk. That's the main difference.
Yeah.
Between this year and last year.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he's not deserving. He is deserving of it. I'm just making a case for Tibbs.
Right. And I feel like, if we get to 50 wins, even if we get to like 48 wins, he should be top 2, like especially treading water, missing our key guy in the paint for us. But you can also say the Celtics with Robert Williams, they were missing him for the majority of the year, and they had an elite defense anyway.
Yeah. So the thing with Joe Mazzulla is this. What I'm gonna say is if Brad Stevens should win is executive of the year.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Right now, in terms of the coach, no. You're not gonna roll out 2 rookie coaches in a row and then make it seem like.
I mean, but there are his understudies. They were underneath him. And which is why he was so comfortable with giving him the reins for the team because he knew what he could do.
And I don't begrudge them that though. That's not if they win executive of the year, congratulations. And you know what I'm saying? Kudos to y'all. You know what I'm saying? For putting together a great roster and a great coaching staff.
Then wait. If the Knicks win 50 games and we win a bunch of games with Josh Hart, why can't Leon Rose be up in there for executive of the year then?
That's my point.
Yeah. No, I could see that, but
Because
Leon Rose didn't get you a Malcolm Brogdon, a Derek White. He didn't bring in starters from, and then plus,
But also too now, Freezy. Listen, to rebuke that just a bit, he also didn't jump out the window and get fleeced.
Lee, you let me finish though. I
My fault.
was gonna say there's no harm in Leon Rose finishing second or third in the executive of the year.
Right.
There's no harm in that, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to
second or third in executive. Okay, congratulations on that.
Hey Freezy, I wanted to. You remember you said teams that take risks usually wind up like favorable in the end.
Yeah.
If the Celtics were to go out in the second round, Brad Stevens is going to flip the hell out of that roster outside of maybe Jaylen Brown and Tatum. Like
outside the cornerstones, yeah.
Yeah. Marcus Smart's up out of there. Robert Williams might be up out of there. They gonna find a way. They gonna do something. They not gonna bring back the same roster if they don't go back to the finals at the bare minimum.
I don't know. I don't know about Marcus Smart, but you're right though. I agree, Dre.
But I'm saying I think he's from the Danny Ainge school because even when like Isaiah Thomas was damn near in MVP talks and they flipped him immediately for a talent upgrade because they saw there's a specific ceiling for that team.
Yeah. I can see that.
I see him like when I say Marcus Smart, it's not necessarily that Marcus Smart's a bad player.
No,
he will do something to make a change on that roster, and he makes enough money. So like guys that make money, like he'll do something where he won't bring Grant Williams back or something to that effect, or he'll trade Grant Williams, a sign and trade. Someone else will pay him. He'll take back an asset or something. Like he will shuffle the cards.
Okay, shuffling the cards is yeah, but the thing is just ultimately what I was gonna say about the Tibbs winning Coach of the Year versus Mike Brown and Mike Mazzulla. Bro, it is legit too hard to win in New York City and in our division. Right? In our division, every year you generally have 4 teams that feel like they're championship contenders, and then there's us. Right? and then every year we have 2 teams. It's always 2 teams in our division that's title contenders, and then 2 others that feel like they are, and then there's us, right? And whether that is Philly and Toronto or Brooklyn and Boston, flip flop, switch, however way you turn it.
The Nets ain't gonna be in that conversation for a while though. They done. Right. They are. Swap your hands done.
Well, but the point I'm getting at though, Drake, is it's hard for the Knicks to do anything in our division. Now, in Sacramento's division, in their defense, they're taking advantage of the opportunity given. But usually the Lakers and the Warriors are that's the Lakers and the Warriors division.
Suns too. I think Suns in the division as well.
Clippers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But I also feel like division doesn't necessarily matter as much compared to like the NFL because you still play everybody 4 times relatively in your conference. Where in the NFL, you play your division guys 2 times a year.
Yeah.
So it's weighted a little bit more. It's skewed. Like having a strong division in the NFL hurts you more than having a strong division in the NBA because the other divisions in your conference could be trash. Like if you look at the Bucks division, it's the Bucks and then who else?
It's the Bucks, Detroit, Chicago, Indiana. Nothing. It's nothing.
Right, but they still worry about what's in our division because they still play those guys 4 times a year, or 3 times, 4-3.
Yeah, or what's in the South Division in the Eastern Conference? It's Miami, it's Atlanta, it's Charlotte, it's Orlando,
Washington.
It's nothing.
Yeah, so like divisions, while it matters for the banner. In the NBA, divisions don't matter as much as it does in like the NFL. Like, I would say conference, like top heavy conference, because in the NFL, it's almost impossible to have every team make the playoffs because they just beating each other up out of their conference, out of their division, that is. In the NBA, a whole division will make the playoffs because so many teams make the playoffs.
With the exception of the NFC East, so we ain't gonna go there.
Yeah, I mean that happens, but it's very rare. Lee, like it's very rare.
If you're a lame Giants fan, of course you think you're gonna be.
It's all good. What you gonna do with the number 1 pick? That's what I'm asking.
Oh, you a Giants fan?
I'm a Giant fan all day. Born and raised.
Freezy gonna flip the hell out of that trade, that pick. They're gonna flip that pick.
We're gonna flip it twice.
Oh yeah, you're gonna trade down to number 2 and then flip that 2.
Yeah. Yeah, man, and that's how you. It could, because and not to. Well, I guess since we wrapping up, just real quick. The Bears are going to be terrible again this year, so why not flip it twice and get more assets? You know what I'm saying? Because we might get the number 1 pick again next year, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's this thing about team building. Listen, the Detroit Lions are better than us. That tell you what kind of world we living in right now.
Yeah, right now. It's hard. What's so horrible right now about your division? You don't even know if Aaron Rodgers is going to stay or go.
Even if he goes, Jordan Love's better than whoever they got.
Please come over here, Aaron. Please save my franchise.
You're talking about the Giants?
Oh, the Jets?
The Giants need an offensive line, bro.
Oh, the Jets? Nah, he can't save the Jets.
Man, that's not even purgatory, man. Y'all are in purgatory, bro.
We a quarterback away from making the playoffs. What you mean?
Man, y'all been a quarterback for about the last 50 years away from winning the championship.
Exactly, Lee. Listen, bro. Aaron Rodgers with a broken thumb. If you were to give his statistics, it would have been the 3rd greatest Jets quarterback season in the history of the Jets.
But here's the thing you're not recognizing, bro. Why would Aaron Rodgers leave Green Bay the same way Brett Favre left Green Bay?
Exactly. To go to the same bum team.
Well, the options are limited, though. The options are limited. They don't want to trade him anywhere. They don't want to trade him to the NFC.
Like, I wouldn't be mad if I see him go to Oakland. I mean, Vegas.
Oakland is out of it. Vegas doesn't want him. They're out of it. They're out of the sweepstakes. They don't really want to. They have so many holes in the roster.
Yeah, they're gonna start from scratch.
And they don't want to trade him to anywhere that's not in the AFC. And the AFC is already loaded with teams that have franchise quarterbacks. And the other ones that do want a franchise quarterback would rather draft one.
Man, he might as well stay. We got Watson, we got Romeo Dobbs, AJ Dillon. We got killers all over here, man.
Oh, you a Packers fan?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Every time why y'all give him the opportunity to say something, bro?
Let's go. What about Chicago? Who's your quarterback again?
Hey, look, man, we're gonna take good care of him.
Our quarterback name is Justin Hammer. He the fake Tony Starks, bro. Justin Hammer. You know what I'm saying? He the fake Tony Starks, bro. He the real Tony Starks. Yeah, we got fake situations going on everywhere in Chicago. But anyway, let me get out of here. I'm a holler at y'all today at some point. I don't know, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do the game, but I'm gonna definitely be on at some point.
No doubt.
Probably be about 3 or 4 hours, maybe split it up, like do 2 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like do 2 hours, maybe mid-afternoon.
Man, take care. Take care of yourself, man, and we'll catch up. It is what it is.
Man, I got the same sentiment from you.
I appreciate it, man. For those that don't know, I'm recovering, so trying to get right. But anyway, thank y'all for watching, man. Hanging out with us, had a fun time, great time talking this Knicks talk the way that y'all like to have this Knicks talk to y'all. I'm your man, Uncle Freeze. I've been joined by Dre and Keyshawn and Adam and Mr. Lee and G Money. and SB and a bunch of others, man. Thank y'all for coming through, hanging out with us. We'll holler at y'all later. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.